Chapter 1244. Zi-Wei North Palace, Ninth Palace, Quail Tail Palace. Quail Tail Palace used to be the warehouse where immortal Emperor Zi-Wei stored his elixirs. After a long time, many elixirs here had gained intelligence and became pill demons. If the Wood Analysis Palace was the home of the miscellaneous demons, then the Quail Tail Palace was the paradise of pill demons. At this moment, a purple-robed woman was carrying a flower basket and walking at the edge of the Quail Tail Palace's protective formation. This woman was none other than the queen of the Feng Lady race who entered the palace to look for elixirs and wanted to refine true Lord Beihai to death. The surroundings of the formation were filled with white fog. Even the eyes of immortals could not see through it. Although the purple-robed woman was an immortal king, she could only see a radius of 10 zhang and could not see further. Anyone who wanted to enter Quail Tail Palace would have to pass through this formation. The purple-robed woman had been here several times and knew a lot about this formation. It was not difficult to pass through it. However, she did not intend to do so. Instead, she wandered around the formation, looking for something. She searched for 4 days. Finally, the purple-robed woman found a place that was filled with poisonous fog. In the depths of the poisonous fog, there was a large piece of rotten grass that was half a person tall. The branches and leaves of the rotten grass were covered with dark green moths that lived to eat carrion. There are 3 poisonous green needles in the mouth of this moth. It's the three-toothed moth. The powder of the three-toothed moth can accelerate the growth of the soul-dissolving leaf. If I'm not wrong, I'll definitely find the soul-dissolving leaf in the deepest part of the rotten grass. Soul-dissolving leaf, Saint Extermination grass, Tao Sealing Spirit Spring. As long as she could find these 3 items, she was 100% sure that she could refine true Lord Beihai into elixirs and take revenge. Thinking of this, the purple-robed woman's eyes were filled with joy but more sadness. She thought of her father and mother. She thought of the time when she was young. She thought of the past that she could never go back to. She remembered that every time the dragon coral bloomed white flowers, her father would put down the trifling matters and put down the dignity of an emperor. He would turn into a crowned fish and carry her on his back. He would swim in the sea with a face full of pride. It was as if he wanted to show off his mediocre daughter to the world. As a result, the members of the sea race who met her along the way would ask, "King Hai Chen, you're a dignified demon king. Why did you lower yourself and become a little girl's mount?" Every time this came up, her father would angrily reply, "What little girl? This is my daughter Ah Yao, the one and only Ah Yao in this world. I can do whatever I want, it's none of your business." She remembered that when she was young, she was lazy and gluttonous, and afraid of hardships and tiredness. When she cultivated Yao arts, she would complain that her waist was sore, and when she practiced Yao arts, she would say that her legs hurt. Every time the imperial tutor gave her a lesson, she would find an opportunity to skip class. The imperial tutor was so angry that he blew his beard and glared at her, looking for her all over the world. She hid in her mother's palace and begged her mother to make pastries for her. Every time this happened, Empress Mother would laugh and flick her head. She would say, "Ah Yao is too lazy to cultivate, in the future your cultivation level will not be high. You're so delicate and greedy, I really don't know which husband would want you. If you want to eat mother's pastries, you have to cultivate obediently. If you cultivate for 2 hours, mother will make your favorite goldfish cake. If you cultivate for 4 hours, mother will make you river god dumplings." She remembered that she was a fish demon of the Feng Nu clan, but because her demon soul was incomplete, she could not transform into a fish. 12 times of the clan's great sacrifice, 12 times of blood awakening failed. As a Feng Nu, she could not condense the Feng Nu blood. At that time, she became the laughing stock of the North Jie River. She lost the trust of all her clansmen, lost all her friends, lost all her recognition, and was at a loss of what to do. The clan elders who had been kind to her in the past suddenly changed their attitude. They shouted that she should be removed from the clan and expelled from the clan. What right did a person who could not awaken the Feng Nu blood have to stay in the clan? What right did she have to inherit the great Feng Nu clan? She was the shame of the clan. In order to pressure her father and mother, the clan elders even invited Xiaoxiyu to judge this matter. With a single order from Xiaoxiyu, her expulsion from the clan was an established fact. Thus, her arrogant father and mother finally threw away all their dignity and knelt in front of Xiaoxiyu. My daughter, Yao, is not a useless person. Her demon soul was only damaged too badly in her previous life. That's why her demon soul is incomplete in this life. Xiaoxiyu, please take back your order and give my daughter a chance. The purple-robed woman closed her eyes sadly. She could never forget the scene of her parents bending over for her. It was also from then on that she got rid of her lazy habit and cultivated desperately. She really grew up. After that, the old thief of the North Sea broke into the Feng Nu clan. After that, the clan elders who ostracized her died. Her father and mother, who had doted on her, also died. The purple-robed woman's thoughts became more and more chaotic. She slowly closed her eyes. When she opened them again, her expression was terrifyingly stubborn. Father, mother. I am unfilial. Until today, I still can't awaken the Feng Nu blood. I have been mediocre my whole life and tried my best. Today, I can only barely cultivate to the immortal king realm, which is barely enough to rule the clan. I have accomplished nothing in this life, but there is one thing that I must do. The purple-robed woman walked step by step towards the poisonous miasma and the rotten grass. As soon as she approached, the three-toothed moths attached to the rotten grass flew up and attacked her. One of these three-toothed moths was not worth mentioning, but if there were hundreds or thousands of them, even a 5-tribulation immortal king would have to retreat for a while, let alone a 4-tribulation immortal king like her. However, she was not willing to retreat because the soul transformation grass she wanted was right in front of her. She took out the flower basket in her hand and fought against the black three-toothed moths in the air. She used the flower basket very carefully. Sometimes, she would rather suffer a few poisonous needles than let the flower basket be damaged. It was because that flower basket was the only thing left to her by her mother. An hour later, she finally killed all the three-toothed moths in this place. However, there were dozens of wounds caused by the poisonous needles on her body. At this moment, there was a bit of black chi on her face. It was the proof that the poison of the three-toothed moths was wreaking havoc in her body. She casually took out a medicinal pill and consumed it, temporarily suppressing the poison in her body. The purple-robed woman then walked deeper into the rotten grass. This time, there were no more three-toothed moths blocking her way, and she finally found the soul transformation grass in the deepest part of the rotten grass. I've found the first ingredient. Since that's the case, there's no point in staying here any longer. It's time to go to the next place. The purple-robed woman revealed a happy smile, but she didn't know that there were more than 10 divine senses staring at her from the shadows. Those were the divine senses secretly released by the pilled devils of the Quail-tail Palace. This place had a lot of restrictions on outsiders, but there weren't many restrictions on the local demons. As long as the local demons' cultivation was strong enough, they could release their divine will freely. Therefore, the pilled devils here had long noticed the arrival of the purple-clothed woman. Tisk, tsk, tsk. What a delicious aura. It's blood food from the outside world. It can be eaten. A 4-tribulation immortal king. Before this woman is used as food, it seems like a good idea to use her as a cauldron. This old man remembers this woman. She's from the Feng Nu clan. I think she's called Ji Fuyao. This woman has the supreme Ziwei's token. It doesn't seem appropriate for us to attack her. Humph. Supreme Ziwei has already passed away. We are all demons without a master. We no longer have anything to do with those Ziwei immortal cultivators. Even if we eat this woman, there's no harm in doing so. We can't eat her, we can't eat her. There's something strange about this woman, that's right. This woman has already come here several times. I've also chased after her several times, but I've always returned empty-handed. There's actually such a strange thing. I believe that there must be a great treasure protecting this woman's body. I heard that even the star devils of the Stellar Order Palace had their eyes on this woman. However, they could only bite off half of her demon soul. They couldn't bite the remaining demon soul no matter how hard they tried. Don't you think it's strange? Hee hee, the stranger the better. The stranger it is, the more it means that the treasure on this woman's body is extremely powerful. It's even more worth killing her. That makes sense, that makes sense. Then let's chase after her again. The pill devils spoke one after another. They looked at the purple-robed woman as if they were looking at meat on the chopping board. After that, more than 10 devil lights soared into the sky and chased after the purple-robed woman. Damn it! I've indeed been discovered by this group of pill devils. The purple-robed woman's pretty face turned cold. It wasn't her first time coming to the North Star Palace, nor was it her first time dealing with the demons here. Apart from a few palaces that didn't make things difficult for her, the other demons of the 12 palaces would basically hunt her down with all their might without any mercy. That's right. To the demons here, a foreign demon cultivator like her was nothing more than delicious food. She was just prey. According to her usual style, once she was targeted by the demons in the palace, she would be teleported out of the North Star Palace. However, it was different this time. She came here to find a total of 3 medicinal ingredients. Now, she only found the soul transformation grass. She was still missing 2 more. If she left now, even if she had the key to the palace, the North Star token, she would have to wait for 49 years before she could enter this place again. 49 years. She couldn't afford to wait. If she wanted to kill the old bastard of the North Sea, she only had this short period of time. It was her only chance. She wouldn't leave until she found the 3 medicinal ingredients. This is the 9th palace. It's connected to the 8th palace's Quail Fire and the 10th palace's Longevity Star. The cauldron demon of the Quail Fire Palace isn't a good person. If I escape in this direction, it'll be even more difficult for me to escape. Since that's the case, I'll hide in the Longevity Star Palace for now. The peach demons will remember old times and will more or less take into account the incense offerings of the North Star Immortal Cultivator. Maybe they'll let me hide for a while. The purple-robed woman made a decision almost instantly and fled in the direction of the Longevity Star Palace. She was not slow, but the elixir devils were faster. She had just escaped to the peach forest outside the Longevity God Palace when she was blocked by the elixir devils. Interesting, interesting. Ji Fuyao, aren't you always afraid of death? Why aren't you teleporting out of the North Star Palace now that we're chasing you? A pill devil with 9 eyes laughed out loud. With a wave of his demonic palm, a heaven-covering palm imprint had already descended. This 9-eyed pill demon was clearly just a 2nd tribulation immortal sovereign, but the power of his palm wasn't much weaker than a 4th tribulation immortal king's. He was strong enough to rival an ancient immortal venerable. The purple-robed woman subconsciously wanted to summon her flower basket to defend herself, but she hesitated the moment she raised her hand. In the end, she chose to point with her finger, releasing thousands of wisps of watery light to block the insufferably arrogant palm. Boom! The 9-eyed pill demon's palm was shattered by the watery light. When he saw this, his expression darkened, and he looked embarrassed. The purple-robed woman wasn't in a good position either. Although she had blocked the palm, she still had the poison and injuries left behind by the 3-toothed moth in her body. Those injuries had been temporarily suppressed by the power of the pill, but now that she used her magic power, her injuries showed signs of relapsing. The purple-robed woman coughed up an arrow of blood on the spot. That was jet-black blood. There were still remnants of the 3-toothed moth's poison in her blood. Ha ha ha. Old Ninth can't even take down an injured woman. How embarrassing, how embarrassing. Could it be that the demon seed bestowed by the Demon Conferral Summit hasn't been completely refined? Or is Old Ninth still holding back on this attack because he has tender feelings for the fairer sex? Ha! The other pill demons laughed when they saw that the 9-eyed pill demon's attack was ineffective. The 9-eyed pill demon flew into a rage out of humiliation. He raised his palm and wanted to attack the purple-robed woman again to regain his dignity. But someone else was one step ahead of him. This time, the one who attacked was a fat pill demon with ivory in his mouth and 2 golden hammers. This demon was clearly only a 3-tribulation immortal king, but when the giant hammer fell, it had the killing power of a peak immortal king. Seeing this demon's menacing attack, the purple-robed woman had no choice but to take out the flower basket to defend herself. However, she still couldn't completely dissipate the power of the opponent's giant hammer. Her entire body was sent flying by the remaining force of the giant hammer. The ivory pill demon roared excitedly when he succeeded in his attack. Comfortable, comfortable. Bullying the weak is really enjoyable. Greed doesn't deceive me. The fear in the eyes of the weak before death is really interesting. After the ivory pill demon roared, he realized that no one was paying attention to him. He immediately felt embarrassed. His face darkened, and he wanted to rush forward again to attack the purple-robed woman a few more times. Unfortunately, just as he was roaring, the other pill devils had already rushed forward and surrounded the purple-clothed woman. Besieged by more than 10 prime venerables and ancient kings, the purple-robed woman couldn't even defend herself. She kept dodging and retreating, but she was still sent flying again and again. Blood kept spilling. Her chi and blood were getting weaker and weaker, and even her consciousness was blurred for a moment. Reason and fragility told her that if she didn't activate the Myrtle token now and teleport out of this place, she really wouldn't be able to escape. But she was unwilling. She had failed too many times in her life and given up too much, but this was the only time she didn't want to give up. She had to turn true monarch Beihai's bones into ashes no matter the price. Explode. The purple-robed woman uttered one word. At this moment, her consciousness was wrapped in blood red, and then her body exploded with a bang. Self-destructing her body. Facing the siege of more than 10 pill demons, this woman would rather self-destruct her body to find a chance to escape than escape to the outside world. This showed how deep her obsession with revenge was. The self-destruction of an immortal king was terrifying. Although there were many pill demons besieging this place, facing such a powerful self-destruction, they all turned pale and retreated without saying a word. As they retreated, they cursed. Wretched woman. She would rather self-destruct her body than leave us flesh and blood to eat. How fucking stingy. Crazy, crazy. This woman is clearly a lunatic. Damn it. I dodged too slowly, and one of my arms was blown off by this crazy woman. Grandpa lost one of his ears, how unlucky. Damn it. The treasure that I refined for thousands of years was actually damaged because of this woman. I'm going to skin this crazy woman. Where did she escape to? Although her body is destroyed, her demon soul is still there. I'm going to sacrifice her demon soul. Peach Forest. She escaped into the territory of the peach demons. Good, good, good. Looks like this wretched woman wants to find peach demons to protect her. What a pity. We pill demons have obtained the demonic seeds from the demon conferral summit and are no longer the same as before. These peach demons can't protect her, and they don't dare to. Kill. Charge into the peach forest. If the peach demons dare to stop us, we'll just kill and eat all of them. It's a good chance for this longevity god palace to change owners. The pill demons rushed into the peach forest arrogantly, plucking the peaches and cutting down the trees along the way. They chased after the purple-robed woman's demon soul unhurriedly until they reached the depths of the peach forest, but they didn't dare to chase too closely. If this woman went crazy again and detonated her demon soul, who would they vent their anger on? After the self-destruction, the purple-robed woman was only left with her demon soul. At this moment, her demon soul was weak and her consciousness was blurred. However, she still gritted her teeth and stubbornly flew towards the depths of the peach forest. As she escaped, she was still worried. Actually, she wasn't sure that the peach demons here would protect her, but she felt that it was possible. If the peach demons here weren't willing to help her, she could only continue to escape in the direction of the 11th palace. In short, she wouldn't leave easily. Anyway, she was going to the 11th palace anyway. There was also something she was looking for there, the Saint Vanquishing Grass. The only problem was that the 11th palace was the Great Fire Palace. It was a place of utmost fire in the 10 realms, meaning that on average, there would only be one such place in every 10 vast thousand worlds. Even when she was at her peak, she had to be careful and make thorough preparations when entering such a place of fire. Now that she was only left with a wisp of her demon soul, the journey to the Great Fire Palace would be even more difficult. She was getting closer and closer. After fleeing in the peach forest for an unknown period of time, the purple-robed woman suddenly felt a ray of sunlight passing through the shadows and shining into her eyes. Then, she saw that at the end of the peach forest in front of her, there was a white-robed man standing in front of a mountain rock, holding an umbrella. The white-robed man didn't deliberately conceal his aura. The strength of his aura was enough to make her tremble. Obviously, he was someone with an extremely high cultivation level. The white-robed man looked unfamiliar. He was definitely not someone she had seen before. However, she didn't know why, but she felt a trace of indelible familiarity from him. What made her even more familiar was the umbrella in the man's hand. The white-robed man's expression was cold. He clearly saw that she was escaping, but he acted as if he didn't see her. It was obvious that he didn't intend to help her. A hero saving a damsel in distress. That didn't exist. Such a cold person was obviously unwilling to interfere in a fight between strangers. Such a cold expression was extremely common in the cultivation world. The purple-robed woman had lived alone until today. She was already used to such a cold expression. In the past, she had also treated strangers like this. However, she didn't know why she felt a stab of pain and a trace of grievance when she faced this person's cold expression this time. She didn't know where that stab of pain and grievance came from. She also didn't know why she would have such feelings towards this strange man. It was as if countless ancient memories had been awakened at this moment. It was as if there were countless longings attacking her at this moment. She didn't know where that feeling came from, but it instantly filled her entire soul. It turned into a call. "Master, don't you recognize me? I'm Fu Yao. Fu Yao of the Ji clan. You personally gave me the surname and name. Your disciple has been looking for you for a long time, but I was torn into pieces by the demon crane. Finally, I found you. It turns out that there's no need for the divine tree. There's no need for it. He lied to me. He lied to me." The purple-robed woman smiled sadly. It was as if she had lost her mental support in an instant, or as if she had used up all of her strength in an instant and fainted. Her demon soul fell from mid-air and fell straight towards Ning Fan. It was as if she had been heading straight for this place from the very beginning. Ning Fan frowned. He did not understand why this purple-robed woman of unknown origin would address him as master. What was even stranger was that this form of address made him feel both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. At the next moment, he seemed to have thought of something. However, this thought was separated by the great samsara circle, making him unable to see through it completely. What was even stranger was that almost at the same time when the purple-robed woman fainted, the Ant Lord in Ning Fan's sea of consciousness also let out a cry of pain and fell unconscious. The timing of this kind of fainting was too precise. It was like the resonance of music and the resonance of souls. Perhaps this woman, Ning Fan, had a vague guess, but he had no way to verify it. Because of that, his brows furrowed even deeper. He was too lazy to care about other people's business. However, this woman seemed to have a deep karma with him. If he doesn't save her, it would be going against his principles. Seeing that the unconscious demon soul of the purple-robed woman was about to fall to the ground, Ning Fan sighed softly. In the end, he waved his long sleeve and kept her demon soul into his umbrella. Seeing that Ning Fan actually intervened in the battle between the pill devils, the expressions of the peach demons in the surroundings changed drastically. "Lord Great Minister of War, you can't. You can't. These pill devils have always been unreasonable." Recently, they had obtained a fortuitous encounter and found a backer. Their strength had already skyrocketed. If we meddle in their business, we, the little peach demons, won't be able to protect you. That's right. There were still many peach demons standing around Ning Fan. Unfortunately, when the purple-robed woman flew over, she only had Ning Fan in her eyes. She had neglected the existence of the peach demons in this place. These peach demon servants followed behind Ning Fan respectfully, feeling a little baffled. Their way of addressing him was even more baffling. They actually called Ning Fan the Great Minister of War. What kind of lousy way of addressing him was that? Ning Fan did not understand it, and he did not want to understand it at all. He had just left the Wood Analyzing Palace and went to the Great Fire Palace. Then, he went to the Longevity God Palace and searched for a few pieces of unparalleled wisdom's fragments. He did not do anything unnecessary, but the peach demons in this place followed him and worshipped him as if he was a god. It was really baffling. Alright, he was a god in the first place, I'll say it for the last time. I'm not the great minister of war that your clan mentioned. Ning Fan was speechless for a while. Then, his expression changed. He looked at the group of pill devils who were plucking peaches and cutting down trees from afar. His eyes flashed with extreme coldness. When the peach demons saw that cold light, it further confirmed their guesses. It's the great minister of war. This high immortal is indeed the great minister of war. He is definitely the person sent by the Mountain and Sea Division to collect the tribute peaches. If not, why would he get angry because these pill devils cut down the tribute peaches indiscriminately? That's right. That's right. The great minister of war doesn't plan to be a hero and save the damsel in distress at all. What he wants to save are those peach trees that are being cut down. How responsible he is. Chapter 1245. The pill devils chased after them unhurriedly and finally reached the end of the peach forest. Along the way, the pill devils plucked peaches and cut down trees. Everywhere they passed, there were broken branches and trees everywhere. They didn't take the Longevity God Palace's peach demons seriously at all. They could only blame the peach demons for being too weak and easy to bully. They were clearly attacked by outsiders, but not a single one dared to stop them. Seeing this, the pill demons all secretly looked down on the peach demons' cowardice. They became even more arrogant. Never had they imagined that when they arrived at the end of the peach forest, they suddenly noticed that there were actually a few thousand peach demons gathered here, and all of them were the elites of the peach demon clan. Merely the immortal exalts and immortal kings amongst them numbered 11, and their numbers were actually on par with their own forces. Even with the arrogance of the pill demons, they couldn't help but hesitate when they saw this scene. They wondered when the peach demons had become so unyielding. Were they really going to fight the peach demons today? Was it worth it? The pill devils looked at each other and hesitated for a moment. Their originally arrogant words could not be said at this moment. Seeing this scene, the oldest pill devil finally stood up. He glared at the other pill devils in disappointment and reprimanded, "Our generation's pill devils have already submitted to the Devil Conferral Summit. What are you afraid of? Peach demons, you're acting like this. It's truly shameful to be called pill devils." The elder pill devil had a stooped figure and an ordinary appearance. He was extremely inconspicuous among the pill devils and was easily overlooked. When they were chasing after Ji Fuyao, he only followed behind lazily. He wasn't in a hurry to attack, nor did he try to steal the limelight. However, at this moment, he was standing in front of everyone. His originally gloomy eyes instantly became incomparably sinister, and a ferocious light shot out in all directions. As the demon's demonic intent erupted, 10 jade-colored pill markings appeared on his left face. On his right face, there was a C character shrouded in demonic chi. Who is this? Is there such a person in the Pill Devil clan? Some of the younger peach demons didn't recognize the elder pill devil and were puzzled. However, there was no lack of seniors among the peach demons. They recognized the elder pill devil one after another, and all of them turned pale with fright. It's actually the Sea Devil General. He's not dead yet. He actually survived the tribulation of pill ignition and lived until today. What? He's the sixth devil general under the old Pill King. In the past, this devil dared to invade our race with just his 9 revolutions Emperor Pill bloodline. Our race used all our strength to encircle this devil, but he still ate a few immortal venerables and immortal kings alive. Fortunately, the Spirit Peach Great Emperor gave up his seclusion and forced the devil to retreat. Now that this devil has endured the Dan Ignition tribulation, it is very likely that he has ascended to the 10 revolutions bloodline. The Sea Demon General could not help but sneer when he saw that there were still people who remembered his infamy. His gaze swept across the faces of the Peach Demons before finally stopping on the patriarch of the Peach Demon clan, Tao Wanyan. I remember you. You're the youngest son of the Spirit Peach Emperor. Back then, I came here to eat and ate countless peach demons. I even ate quite a few of your brothers and sisters. At that time, you were just a teenager, so scared that you couldn't even stand properly in front of this old man. If not for your father forcefully coming out of seclusion to save you, even you would have been eaten into this old man's stomach. Ha, now that you are no longer a teenager, your flesh and blood are no longer fresh and tender. Damn it, I've been targeted by this demon again. Things had changed with the passage of time. Tao Wanyan was no longer the teenager from back then. He had already grown into the patriarch of a clan and was a 5 tribulation immortal king. But even so, he still felt the air stifling as he stood in front of the Sea Demon General, as if a vast ocean was pressing down on him. He did not dare to move recklessly. This demon had hidden himself for so many years. Just what had he experienced? Why had his aura become so unfathomable? Before the Elixir Ignition tribulation, this demon could easily escape from an immortal emperor. After the tribulation, could it be that this demon's strength was comparable to an immortal emperor's? If the Pill Demon clan had joined the Devil Conferral Summit, then this demon had no choice but to refine the demon seed bestowed by the Devil Conferral Summit. If that was the case, this demon alone could destroy the Peach Demon clan. You're all very lucky. This old man does not wish to kill too much today. Today, I'm only hunting Ji Fuyao. It has nothing to do with the Peach Demons. Scram. You, scram too. The Sea Demon General pointed at Tao Wanyan and said disdainfully. Tao Wanyan was stunned at first, but then, as if he had been granted amnesty, he wanted nothing more than to lead his clansmen back into the clan's formation. However, at the next moment, his face turned deathly pale. It was because the Sea Demon General's finger was pointing at Ning Fan again. Everyone here can leave except for you. Hand over Ji Fuyao who is under your umbrella. What if I don't? Ning Fan said mercilessly. Hee. I know you're an immortal king and you're not an ordinary one. Your magic power is unfathomable. Unfortunately, I'm not an ordinary person either. If you disobey my orders, I will let you know how terrifying a 10th revolution pill devil is today and what. Rumble, before the Sea Demon General could finish his words, he suddenly felt a tremendous force coming at him. His entire body was stomped on the ground by Ning Fan's foot, sinking into the soil. Ning Fan stepped on the Sea Devil General's head. Although it was a simple stomp, the Sea Devil General's sea of consciousness was shattered. He spurted out a mouthful of blood all over the ground and his spirit sense nearly collapsed. He let out a whimper. A feeling of impending death suddenly spread throughout the Sea Demon General's body. He struggled, desperately crawling and clawing on the ground, trying to escape from under Ning Fan's foot. However, he could not. It was as if what was stepping on his head was the ancient firmament, the eternal earth and everything in the world. This is fake. This is fake. I'm a dignified 10th revolution pill devil. Not even the pill flaming tribulation could burn me to death. Not even Senior Greed's daylight dome stone could suppress me. Why am I unable to move after being stomped by you? What kind of demonic technique did you use? Good. Very good. You've angered me. Watch me break your suppression technique and tear you into pieces. The true body of the pill devil appeared. The Sea Demon General's physical body began to expand. His chi also began to rise. He already had the strength of a peak immortal king. Now that he revealed his true body, his magic power was comparable to that of an ancient 6 tribulation immortal emperor. An ancient 6 tribulation immortal emperor could fight against an 8 tribulation immortal emperor or even a 9 tribulation immortal emperor from the Dharma ending era. The sea demon general's chi was too powerful, making it hard for all the peach demons to breathe. His true body was too hard. His body glowed with the luster of a 10th revolution pill. According to the legends, a true 10th revolution pill was as hard as an innate magic treasure. Even if it was attacked by an innate magic treasure, it would not suffer much damage. The devil body of this devil vaguely glowed with the luster of a 10th revolution pill. Presumably, it could also resist an innate magic treasure. His devil sense was too powerful. Under the sweep of his devil sense, everyone was like a lone boat in the vast ocean. While everyone was shocked by the scariness of the sea demon general's true body, they suddenly heard a loud bang. The sea demon general's true body actually exploded into pieces. Ning Fan was too lazy to continue wasting time and came to watch the sea demon general's transformation performance. He took the opportunity to close the virtue umbrella and used it as a blunt weapon to launch an attack. When the umbrella fell, the sea demon general's physical body exploded on the spot. What was even more strange was that the sea demon general's physical body did not explode into a sky full of blood. Instead, it scattered into rainwater. This attack actually turned the sea demon general's physical body into rainwater. It was actually an attack that directly attacked a physical existence. Silence. The entire place fell into dead silence. None of them expected that the sea demon general, who was the most arrogant and domineering among them, would be smashed to death by Ning Fan's umbrella so easily. What was even more strange was the way the sea demon general died. It turned into rainwater. Even though the demons and devils here had been enlightened by the power of perception, they still could not see through the mystery of it. This feeling. Ning Fan did not care about killing the sea demon general at all. He had killed countless quasi-saints. Killing a mere immortal king realm sea devil general would not make him feel anything. What he cared about was the virtue umbrella itself. It was the rain that the sea demon general turned into after his death. As a matter of fact, he had more than 10 ways to kill the sea demon general in a single move. However, he was too lazy to waste his magic power. Thus, he grabbed the virtue umbrella and used it as a weapon to smash the sea demon general with brute force. However, he did not expect the sea demon general to be so weak that it could not even withstand a single blow from the virtue umbrella. Using the umbrella as a weapon was originally an unintentional move. However, at this moment, Ning Fan had an unexpected discovery. When the virtue umbrella was used as a weapon, the rain intent in his body actually resonated with the virtue umbrella and its power erupted by more than 10 times. Then, the attack from the virtue umbrella was no longer a physical attack. Instead, it directly changed the sea demon general's existence and turned him into rainwater. The virtue umbrella actually has such a use. No. That's not right. Perhaps this is not the use of the virtue umbrella itself. Instead, it is the concealment technique that the Heaven Battling Jade umbrella uses as the material to refine it. The Heaven Battling Jade umbrella is the Rain Master's titled weapon. Legend has it that those who possess the title of Rain Master can trigger the concealment ability of the Heaven Battling Jade umbrella. Today, the Heaven Battling Jade umbrella was upgraded into the Virtue umbrella by Ning Fan. Looking at the situation today, not only did the concealment ability remain, but the restrictions on its usage were also reduced. Ning Fan only had a small amount of the Rain Master's titled force in his body. All of them were devoured from true sovereign North Sea. Originally, he was not qualified to use the concealment ability of the Heaven Battling Jade umbrella. However, after the restrictions on the umbrella were reduced, he was qualified to use it. As for the concealment ability, it was probably an existence-level killing power. All of these were just Ning Fan's guesses. The method to verify this was very simple. He could just ask the Virtue umbrella directly. Let me ask you. Just as Ning Fan was about to talk to the virtue umbrella, he suddenly heard the exclamations of the peach demons around him. Look! As soon as the Sea Devil General died, a pill actually burst out from his body. Could it be that this pill is his true form? Ning Fan had been paying too much attention to the virtue umbrella just now. Only now did he notice that at the place where the Sea Devil General died, a pill with a magnificent luster was separated from the rainwater. It gave off a strange medicinal fragrance and there were a total of 10 pill marks on the surface of the pill. Judging from the pill's fragrance, this pill should be the 8 Seas pill. Rumor has it that the 8 Seas pill is extremely difficult to concoct. Just the main ingredients for concocting the pill need to be collected from 8 seas of the Four Corners grade. The seawater must be refined dry and condensed into the pill. As for the other supplementary ingredients, none of them isn't rare and precious. The 8 Seas pill can greatly increase a cultivator's water element power. Rumor has it that there was once a Dao Law realm cultivator who consumed one pill and directly touched the threshold of the Palm realm. The pill that the Sea Devil General has is not an ordinary 8 Seas pill. An ordinary 8 Seas pill is only at the 9 Revolutions Emperor level. However, this pill was raised to the 10th revolution because the Sea Devil General had endured the tribulation of pill ignition. It's a genuine 10th revolution ancestral pill. A 10th revolution pill can attract half-step saints to fight for it. As soon as this pill appears, I'm afraid the old demons and devils of the other palaces will sense it. It's impossible for them not to come here. This is bad. This is bad. The peach demons spoke one after another, explaining the profoundness of this 8 Seas pill to Ning Fan. Their discussions entered Ning Fan's ears. As a result, the way he looked at this 8 Seas pill also became slightly different. This pill seems to be able to greatly increase one's water element power. However, the body of the pill seems to be a little unstable. It's showing signs of breaking apart. Ning Fan did not continue to question the karma umbrella. Instead, he raised his hand and sucked the pill into his palm. Perhaps it was due to the impact of the karma umbrella, the surface of the pill was already wet. It was showing signs of turning into rain. In that case, this pill could not be kept for a long time. If it is kept for a while longer, it might completely turn into rain and disappear. Ning Fan was a little speechless. It was rare for him to obtain a 10th revolution pill. However, he actually could not bring it back and study it slowly. If he does not consume it on the spot, it would disappear. He had no choice but to consume it as soon as possible. Gulp. Ning Fan swallowed the pill into his stomach. The peach demons immediately exclaimed in surprise. What? Lord Great Minister of War actually consumed this 10th revolution pill. How could he not make any preparations and consume it directly? There's one more thing which is also troublesome. There must be some demons and devils in the other palaces who have smelled the chi of this pill and are rushing here. However, Lord Great Minister of War ate this pill before them. In that case, I'm afraid those old monsters who intend to snatch this pill won't let it go easily. The enormous medicinal power ran wildly in his body, causing Ning Fan to feel bloated. However, that was all. After all, he had the body of a divine spirit and the body of a devil spirit. Even though the medicinal power of a 10th revolution pill was enormous and hard to digest, it was not enough to make him explode. Of course, it was also a fact that it was hard to digest the enormous medicinal power. If a pill devil was compared to a bowl of rice, Ning Fan, who had the body of a fiend god, could eat a mountain of rice. However, his cultivation base was not high enough and his digestive ability was lacking. Therefore, even if he were to eat a mountain of rice, he would need a lot of time to digest it. Since he could not digest the medicinal power for the time being, he decided not to do so. He would just let it be digested slowly in his body. From the moment Ning Fan killed the Ocean Devil General to the moment he consumed the 10th revolution pill of the Ocean Devil General, it actually only took a few breaths. All the pill devils were stunned by Ning Fan's ferocity. When they regained their senses, Ning Fan was already rushing towards the second pill devil with the umbrella in his hand. His target this time was a pill devil with an ivory tusk. When the pill devil saw Ning Fan rushing towards him, his face turned pale with fright. Ning Fan was a ruthless person who could instantly kill the Ocean Devil General. His strength was far inferior to the Ocean Devil General. No matter what, he would not be able to withstand a single attack from him. Brother Elephant, don't be afraid. I will come to help you. Me too. I will come too. Seeing that the pill devil with an ivory tusk was locked on by Ning Fan, 3 of the pill devils who were closest to him immediately rushed towards him. They wanted to join forces with him to deal with Ning Fan. The fact that Ning Fan killed the Ocean Devil General certainly shocked all the pill devils. However, they had the advantage in numbers after all. They thought that if many of them joined forces, they should be able to withstand a few attacks from Ning Fan. However, they were wrong. Extremely wrong. Even if the 4 pill devils joined forces, they could not last much longer in Ning Fan's hands. Ning Fan still just swept his umbrella. Then, blue raindrops swept across the area. The 4 pill devils along with their magic treasures and weapons were all turned into raindrops by Ning Fan's umbrella. The 4 pill devils had died, and not even their existences were left. Then, where the 4 pill devils had fallen, 4 more pills had appeared. Unfortunately, they were not 10 revolutions ancestral pills, but only 9 revolutions golden pills and emperor pills. These pills were also affected and showed signs of collapsing into raindrops. Seeing this, Ning Fan had no choice but to consume these pills on the spot to avoid wasting them. Even an immortal emperor can't kill 4 immortal venerables and immortal kings instantly. Since this person can do this, he is definitely at the same level as Lord Pill King. Let's leave quickly. We can't fight against him. The remaining pill devils were finally frightened. How could they still care about chasing after Ji Fuyao? All of them ran for their lives. However, how could they escape? Ning Fan's devil umbrella fell. The remaining pill devils turned into raindrops one after another and died. None of them could withstand more than 2 attacks from Ning Fan. As for the pills that fell from the sky, in order to avoid wasting them, Ning Fan ate them all. As a result, he became even more full. All the peach demons were dumbfounded by Ning Fan's combat strength. At the same time, all of them also felt puzzled. This is strange. According to the usual practice of the Mountain and Sea Division, when the Division Masters receive the tributes from the various heavens and worlds, they usually only send their low-grade divine clones over. The strongest of these low-grade divine clones won't surpass the Thought Fragment realm. Otherwise, it will affect the effect of the teleportation. However, this person actually has the strength to kill immortal venerables and immortal kings instantly. It doesn't seem to match the rumors. When we first saw this person's Immortal King realm cultivation base and quasi-saint magic power, we thought that everything was just a disguise. Turns out it's true. Could it be that this person isn't the Great Minister of War's divine clone? Did we misunderstand something? Impossible. As soon as this person entered the Longevity God Palace, the ancient Yuan peach tree that was about to die of old age sensed his presence and bloomed once again. Other than the legendary Great Minister of War, who else could do this and revive an immemorial spiritual root that was about to die? This person must be the Great Minister of War without a doubt. As for the fact that his cultivation base is too high, it can also be explained. This time, the Mountain and Sea Division didn't send a low-grade divine clone of the Great Minister of War but a high-grade divine clone. Sending a low-grade divine clone means that they are going to receive the tributes, while sending a high-grade divine clone means that they are going to punish us. It's over. It's over. The Great Minister of War is here to punish us. As expected, we have already offended the Mountain and Sea Division by delaying the payment of tributes. A mere bribe is definitely not enough to appease the Great Minister of War's anger. We still need to find another way to make the Great Minister of War forgive us. The surrounding peach demons continued to discuss among themselves. Ning Fan was too lazy to care about these nonsensical peach demons. He directly summoned the leader of the peach demon clan, Tao Wanyan, and asked, "Is there a suitable place for seclusion here? I have medicinal power that I need to refine urgently. Besides, I also need to find a place to treat this little fellow's injuries. Ning Fan spread his hand. Ji Fuyao's unconscious little demon soul was lying on his palm. Seeing that the lady was severely injured and her demon soul might collapse at any time, Ning Fan frowned slightly and added. It's best if it's a place of soft een that is suitable for nurturing the soul. Don't worry. I won't use your clan's seclusion place for free. I will naturally pay you after the matter is over. Speaking of a place of soft een, there is an excellent place in the Longevity God Palace. Unfortunately, a few years ago, the Devil Lords from the Devil Conferral Summit came here for a massacre, causing that place to be tainted with a lot of negative karma and baleful qi. The Great Minister of War is a priceless treasure. I'm afraid it's not suitable for him to go there. If we don't consider the matter of nurturing the soul, there are many places for seclusion in the Longevity God Palace that you can use as you please. As for the payment, we, the lowly cultivators of the Peach Demon Clan, do not dare to ask for anything from you. If you have anything to say, you can just tell us directly. Our clan will certainly risk our lives to fulfill your request. I only hope that you can give us a way out regarding the matter of the tribute peaches. Tao Wanyin said carefully. I'll say it again. I'm not the Great Minister of War. Forget it. Just bring me to that place of soft een. But that place is filled with negative karma and baleful qi. It will be harmful to your cultivation base. It's all right. Lead the way. In the Longevity God Palace, there were 100,000 mu of peach forest and 3,000 tree palaces. There was another place called the Peach Blossom Spring. It was the origin of all the peach trees in the world. In the Peach Blossom Spring, there were winding mountains and rivers. There were 3,000 water veins surrounding it. At the center of the spring, there were hundreds of gigantic peach trees that could reach the sky. These peach trees were different from the ones in the outside world. They were the inheritance trees of the Peach Demon Clan. They were called the ancient Yuan peach trees. Before Ning Fan came to the Longevity God Palace, the ancient Yuan peach trees in this place were already dying. However, the moment Ning Fan entered the Longevity God Palace, all the ancient Yuan peach trees in this place were full of vitality and bloomed again. This was also the reason why the Peach Demon Clan firmly believed that Ning Fan was the Great Minister of War. Only the Great Minister of Mountains and Seas could do this. This Peach Blossom Spring was the seclusion place that the Peach Demon Clan prepared for Ning Fan. Ning Fan wanted to enter seclusion peacefully. However, the reality was that there were always people who wanted to disturb him. On the first day of his seclusion in the Peach Blossom Spring, an 8th Tribulation Immortal Emperor Realm Wine Demon barged into the Peach Blossom Spring while burping. He kept asking Ning Fan to hand over the 10th Revolution pills that he had obtained previously. How could Ning Fan have any 10th Revolution pills? Previously, it was hard to preserve the pills. Why didn't he just eat them directly? As soon as the wine demon heard Ning Fan's words, he was instantly enraged. However, he soon realized that even though Ning Fan had eaten the pills, the enormous medicinal power had yet to be completely refined. There were still more than 90% of the medicinal power remaining in Ning Fan's body. Hence, the greed in the wine demon's heart rose. He wanted to capture Ning Fan and bring him back to make wine. He wanted to use Ning Fan, a living herb, to make a fine wine to test the medicinal power of the 10th Revolution pills. That was what the wine demon thought and did. He attacked Ning Fan in an arrogant manner. After that, then, he was smashed into rainwater by Ning Fan's umbrella. His existence was erased. As for his true form, the ancient purple myrtle wine, it was seized by Ning Fan. On the second day of the Peach Blossom Spring, 2 book demons with half-saint realm cultivation bases came to the door. They also wanted to capture Ning Fan and bring him back. After that, Ning Fan obtained 2 ancient books. They were the first volume of the Record of the North Divine Pill and the second volume of the Record of the North Divine Pill. Both of them were collected by immortal Emperor Ziwei when he was still alive. They recorded the pill recipes and experiences of many pill refinement masters of the true world. On the third day of the peach blossom spring. For half-saint realm cultivators broke into the peach blossom spring at the same time. Then, Ning Fan seized 4 stalks of ancient herbs. The 4th day, the 5th day and the 6th day. Gradually, the number of fools who came to the door decreased. Everyone realized that Ning Fan was not someone they could provoke. Gradually, there were no longer people who came to cause trouble for him. On the 7th day, Ning Fan finally healed Ji Fuyao's demon soul. That's right. He had already found out the name and identity of this lady from the peach demons. She was a member of the Feng Nu clan, the guardian of the North Myrtle Palace and a member of a foreign race in the North Border River, Ji Fuyao. Although Ji Fuyao's demon soul had recovered, he was still in a coma. However, he gradually began to talk in his sleep, intermittently. Sometimes, he would call out, Imperial Father, Imperial Mother, and sometimes, Master. On the 10th day, Ji Fuyao, who had been unconscious for many days, finally woke up. Ji Fuyao woke up, but the Ant Lord in Ning Fan's sea of consciousness was still unconscious. Water. As soon as she woke up, she asked Ning Fan for water. Ning Fan expressionlessly passed her a gourd of spirit spring water. The useless gourd in his storage pouch was just right for him to use. Thank you. Ji Fuyao's head was still a little dizzy. Her demon soul received the spirit spring water and gulped it down a few mouthfuls. Only then did she feel a little more awake. After she woke up, she realized that Ning Fan, who was sitting beside her, looked very familiar. It's Senior who saved me. You called me Senior. Ning Fan was surprised and fell into deep thought. Did I call you Senior? Then, I'll call you Benefactor. Benefactor is also not right. Ji Fuyao felt a little awkward. Young Master, Lord, King. Ji Fuyao became a little anxious when she realized that no matter how she addressed Ning Fan, she still felt more and more awake. How could she not know that the person who saved her was Ning Fan? The favor of saving her life was very important, but she couldn't even figure out how to address him. If she made him unhappy because of this, she wouldn't be able to rest easy. Are all the people of the Feng Nu clan as stupid as you? You should call this Lord Great Minister of War. The patriarch of the Peach Demon clan could no longer stand it anymore. Incidentally, he had been serving Ning Fan's tea like a servant during these days when he was in seclusion. So Senior is Lord Great Minister of War. Please forgive me. Ji Fuyao said inwardly. What's a Great Minister of War? I don't care. I'll just call him a few times to make Senior happy. Ning Fan shook his head and sighed. Don't call me Great Minister of War. Then, it's better to call you Senior. Oh. Ji Fuyao answered respectfully. She did not dare to put on the airs of a queen. In front of such a senior, what was a queen of a clan? Don't you remember what happened before? What do you mean, Senior? Ji Fuyao asked cautiously. You called me Master before. I'm very curious as to why you called me that. I have some guesses, but I need to verify them with you. Ah, Senior is saying that I called you Master before? I don't remember that. Ji Fuyao was stunned. He could not remember that he had called him that before. You did call him that. At that time, when you were at your wits' end, you called our Great Minister of War bitterly. If it weren't for the fact that things were so fishy, why would our Great Minister of War have provoked the Pill Devil clan for you? Why would he start a massacre and stir up trouble in the mortal world? Tao Wanyan interrupted with a displeased expression. I really don't remember that. I've been prone to hysteria since I was young. I often talk nonsense in the day. I guess it was because of that. He became even more cautious. If it's hysteria, then forget it. Since that's the case, I'll ask you one more thing. Ning Fan seemed to want to ask something else. However, at this moment, Ji Fuyao suddenly closed his eyes and hugged his head while groaning. Soon, the pain stopped. When he opened his eyes again, however, his eyes shone with a domineering aura that looked down on the world. Ji Fuyao let out a soft cry of surprise. He looked at his own demon soul body and suddenly laughed heartily. Ha ha ha. I'm out. I'm actually out. So what if I'm suppressed by 10 eras? So what if I'm dismembered? You damned bird. You didn't expect that I would encounter a remnant soul of a parallel reincarnation, right? What are you shouting for, Ji Fuyao? What do you think this peach blossom spring is? This is the sacred land of my clan. How can you make a fuss here? Be careful, or I'll teach you a lesson. Tao Wanyan was annoyed when he saw Ji Fuyao yelling in pain and making a fuss. The only one who has the right to make a fuss in the peach blossom spring is the great minister of war. Who do you think you are? Insolent. Who do you think you are? How dare you teach me a lesson? Also, my name, Ji Fuyao, was bestowed by my master. Is it something you can call as you wish? Rumbled at it was as if the might of the heavens had descended all of a sudden, pressing Tao Wanyan to the ground and making him eat mud. No matter how hard he tried, he could not stand up under such pressure. Saint's might is fake, right? Great Minister of War, run. Run. There's something wrong with this Ji Fuyao. Tao Wanyan trembled. It was his first time witnessing the might of a saint with his own eyes. He could not understand why the current queen of the Feng Nu clan possessed the might of a saint out of nowhere. It was simply unimaginable. Even though he was extremely terrified of the might of a saint, he did not forget Ning Fan's comforting words. He kept shouting, "Great Minister of War, run. If you don't run now, it'll be too late." Of course, it was impossible for Ning Fan to run away. Seeing the saint's might erupt from Ji Fuyao's body, Ning Fan was even more certain of his guess. Isn't this fellow Taoist Ning? You're here too. Ji Fuyao only realized that Ning Fan was also here after giving Tao Wanyan some advice. When she thought about how she was repeatedly bullied by Ning Fan after being tied up with him day and night, she felt a toothache. She wanted to raise her hand on the spot to repay him. However, she had experienced a lot of things with Ning Fan after all. Their relationship had become better and she had also obtained a lot of benefits from him during the incident with the virtuous umbrella. At this moment, when she saw Ning Fan looking at her with a faint smile, she could not bring herself to beat this detestable bastard up no matter what. Forget it. I'm in a good mood today. I won't argue with you about what happened in the past. However, from today onwards, you and I will go our separate ways. We don't owe each other anything and won't interfere with each other's business. Then, goodbye. Fellow Taoist Ning, it hurts so much. The grade of this remnant soul is actually higher than mine. It can actually resist me. However, Ji Fuyao closed his eyes and groaned in pain again. A few moments later, he opened his eyes again. When he saw Ning Fan's faint smile and Tao Wanyan lying on the ground in a disheveled manner, looking at him as if he was a monster, he could not help but feel puzzled. Senior, I seem to be having a fit of hysteria just now. I didn't do anything rude, did I? Ji Fuyao asked cautiously. No. Ning Fan smiled mysteriously. As for the Ant Lord who had been sleeping in his sea of consciousness for a long time, he woke up at the right time. As soon as he woke up, he was so angry that he rolled on the ground. No, his sea of consciousness. Damn it. I've already gotten rid of that detestable Ning Fan. Why did he come back? I'm so angry. As expected, seeing this scene, Ning Fan's guess was further confirmed. When he looked at Ji Fuyao again, his eyes became even more inexplicable. As expected, this lady is another remnant soul of the Ant Lord. As for why she called him master, we'll definitely find out in the future. There's no need to force an answer now. Chapter 1246. In the 10th Palace of the Ziwei North Palace, Longevity God Palace. In the blink of an eye, Ning Fan had already stayed in seclusion for 15 days in the Peach Blossom Spring. After all, he had the body of a fiend god. He only used 15 days to completely absorb the medicinal power of the 10th Revolution pill without wasting a single bit of it. A 10th Revolution 8Cs pill was extremely beneficial to Ning Fan's water element cultivation. Ning Fan's Rain Sovereign Realm had just reached the mid-attack realm not long ago. Under normal circumstances, it would be difficult for him to make another breakthrough within a short period of time. However, who asked him to eat a 10th Revolution pill? His Rain Sovereign Realm power, which had just stepped into the mid-attack realm, had advanced by more than half to the Grand Completion realm. Even Ning Fan himself was shocked by the medicinal power of the 10th Revolution pill. A mere 10th Revolution 8Cs pill could already improve his cultivation to this extent. If he gets another 10th Revolution 8Cs pill, wouldn't he directly reach the Grand Completion realm of the Rain Sovereign Realm? Rain Dragon, appear. Ning Fan gave an order indifferently. The sky above the Peach Blossom Spring suddenly turned into a storm. Within the storm, a half-real and half-illusory rain dragon broke out of the rain and roared at the sky. All of a sudden, the entire Peach Blossom Spring and even the entire Longevity God Palace began to tremble. When the peach demons of the Longevity God Palace saw this strange phenomenon, their hearts were filled with awe. How could they not know that the roaring rain dragon was Ning Fan practicing his ability? The immortal emperor of the Wine Demon clan who came to the Longevity God Palace to cause trouble a few days ago was bitten to death by this rain dragon. 2 dragons, 3 dragons, 4 dragons, 5 dragons, 6 dragons, appear. Ning Fan gave another order and more rain dragons appeared in the wind and rain. Where did the other 5 rain dragons come from? When Ning Fan was in seclusion, he had devoured all of the other 5 rain dragons that he had caught previously. If true Lord North Sea knew that the 6 rain dragons that he had painstakingly cultivated in his lifetime were all taken by Ning Fan, he would probably die of anger. 6 dragons was the limit of true Lord North Sea's lifetime of cultivation, but it was not Ning Fan's limit. The 7th dragon, appear. The 8th dragon, appear. The 9th dragon, appear. Ning Fan gave another order. The number of rain dragons in the sky increased to 9. Among the 9 rain dragons, Ning Fan snatched the first 6 from True Monarch Northern Sea, while the last 3 were obtained with the help of the 10 Revolutions 8Cs pill. In other words, a single 10 Transformations 8Cs pill could offset half of True Monarch Beihai's lifetime of hard cultivation. It could be seen how powerful a 10 Transformations pill was. Return. Ning Fan gave another command and the 9 rain dragons returned to his body. Ji Fuyao's demon soul that served at the side shuddered with fear and reverence when he witnessed this scene. He said in his heart that even if he fought with his life on the line, he would absolutely be unable to defeat a single rain dragon, let alone 9. Senior's methods are indeed terrifying. Senior, thank you for your hard work. Please have some tea. Seeing that Ning Fan had finished his cultivation, Ji Fuyao's small hand obediently served him a cup of peach blossom tea. The peach blossoms in this tea were not ordinary. They were the peach blossoms that bloomed from the peach blossom ancient peach tree in the peach blossom spring. The peach blossoms could restore the power of the mind. After a cultivator went into seclusion and drank a cup of peach blossom tea, all their exhaustion would be instantly swept away. You're quite considerate. Ning Fan took the yuan peach tea and drank it. He only felt that his mind was at ease and he could not help but smile. This tea is not bad. The Peach Demon clan leader wants me to tell Senior that if Senior likes this tea, Senior can take the peach blossom from the peach blossom spring. There's no need to be polite. After all, Senior is the incomparably respected Grand Minister of the Mountains and Seas. I'm not the Great Minister of Mountains and Seas. Forget it. Ning Fan shook his head and was too lazy to explain further. The Peach Demon clan head also said that he heard that Senior is searching for the fragments of the unparalleled rumor. He decided to personally search for all the fragments of the Longevity God Palace and present them to Senior. Right now, he is leading the Peach Demon clan to search for the fragments of the Longevity God Palace. In just a few days, he will be able to present them to Senior. I've already said it countless times. I'm not the Great Minister of Mountains and Seas. These peach demons really don't need to flatter me like this. Ning Fan felt helpless. I heard that you're looking for Polylore Unparalleled's fragment, Senior. What does Senior want a pile of fragments for? It doesn't matter if this treasure is destroyed. Due to its high grade, it'll be hard to restore it even if you find all the fragments. Ji Fuyao was puzzled and asked cautiously. I naturally have my own use for the fragments I'm looking for. Even though Ning Fan could vaguely sense that this lady shared a great deal of karma with him, he had not known her for long after all. Thus, he did not plan to tell her everything. According to the information he obtained, in the past, a group of devils from the Devil Conferral Summit had once invaded the North Star Palace. At that time, there was an old demon who called himself Duo-Wen who repelled the group of devils. However, he also lost his life in the process. That demon who was called Duo-Wen was the demon that Unparalleled Rumor, one of the 4 divine treasures of the North Star Palace, had transformed into. After a long period of time, even the divine treasures had gained spiritual intelligence. That Unparalleled Rumor who wholeheartedly protected the North Star Palace ended up dying a tragic death in the end. How tragic was it? Losing his life and turning back into his original form, wasn't it tragic? His original form, the divine treasure Unparalleled Rumor, was broken into 108 fragments and scattered all over the North Star Palace. Wasn't it tragic? When Ning Fan first learned that Unparalleled Rumors was destroyed, he was rather disappointed. However, he soon had a new idea. Why didn't he find the fragments of Unparalleled Rumors and restore it? The combination of the 4 divine weapons of Ziwei was at the level of opening the heavens. Even if they were separated, they would still be at a very high level. In order to repair these magic treasures, one would need countless immortal materials. Not even a demi-saint could afford it. However, it was not a problem for Ning Fan. He had the ancient country trading formation. If he really has any repair materials that he could not gather, he could use this formation to purchase them. In the end, he decided to find all the fragments of much knowledge and repair them. The 12th palace, the Wood Palace, did not contain any fragments of Polylore. However, in the 11th palace, the Great Fire Palace, Ning Fan found 5 fragments. As for this Longevity God Palace, Ning Fan picked up a piece of stone from the ground. After conversing with it for a while, he muttered to himself. So that's how it is. In this Longevity God Palace, there are 7 fragments of much knowledge. Ji Fuyao was dumbfounded. Why was his senior chatting with a rock out of nowhere? Could it be that senior's mind was somewhat muddled by the impact of the medicinal power of the 10 revolution pill? No. Senior is my savior. How can I criticize Senior in my heart? Senior is an expert. The thoughts of an expert are not something that ordinary people like me can understand. That must be the case. While Ji Fuyao was thinking about the meaning behind Ning Fan's actions, he suddenly felt a sharp pain. Then, the look in his eyes changed and his personality changed. At the same time, the Ant Lord in Ning Fan's sea of consciousness fell into a deep slumber again. This is great. I'm out again. Ji Fuyao burst into laughter and released his saint aura without restraint. The Longevity God Palace immediately began to tremble again. How terrifying! That Ji Fuyao is acting up again. After sensing this, the peach demons in the Longevity God Palace were filled with awe. During these days, they had already seen Ji Fuyao acting up a few times. Each time, his aura force would be so peerless and terrifying. Alright. Withdraw your aura force. The commotion you caused was too big. You actually wasted half a pot of tea. Ning Fan said with a frown. On the stone table at the side, more than half of the yuan peach tea that Ji Fuyao had served previously had spilled out due to the tremors. All of it had been wasted. TSK. I'll accept it just because you want me to. Who do you think I am? Ji Fuyao retorted angrily. However, she still withdrew her Saint Aura force unwillingly. That's right. Ji Fuyao was no longer the one controlling her body. The one controlling her body was the Ant Lord. Isn't it just half a pot of tea? It's not a big deal. Hiss. It's actually yuan peach tea. Ji Fuyao casually glanced at the teapot on the stone table. As soon as he did so, his face immediately lit up with joy. It's actually yuan peach tea. This is a good thing. The medicinal effect of this item is secondary. The key is that this item can show off one's identity. In the myriad worlds, there are only 3 places that can produce yuan peach blossoms. The number of yuan peach blossoms is too little. Once they are produced, all of them will be kept in the treasury of the Mountains and Seas Division. Then, the division will distribute them to the experts of Saint Defire from the 3 great true worlds. That's right. This yuan peach tea has always been a special tea for Saint Defire. You're really something. You're monopolizing the 4th step tribute tea all by yourself. You actually don't know how to share such a good thing with me. What a waste of our relationship of life and death. Ji Fuyao let out a soft snort. Her demon soul body directly sat on the table. She held the teapot with her small hands and gulped down the tea. She seemed to be enjoying it very much. Unfortunately, before she could enjoy it for long, the personalities in her body switched again. Ji Fuyao's eyes gradually became clear. When she saw her demon soul body sitting directly on the stone table and drinking tea from the teapot, she was instantly shocked. I am actually having a hysterical episode. How rude of me, it's all right. Your demon soul has just recovered. You can rest here for a while. I have some matters to attend to. I'll be back soon. During these days, Ning Fan had seen the switching of Ji Fuyao and the Ant Lord's personalities many times. He was already used to it. Thus, he did not plan to pay much attention to this matter. At this moment, he had already absorbed all of the medicinal power in his body. It was time for him to search for the fragment of abundant knowledge in the Longevity God Palace. Ning Fan walked out of the peach blossom spring. As soon as he stepped out of the door, he coincidentally bumped into Tao Wanyan. It was unknown what Tao Wanyan had gone through today. At this moment, his face was covered in dirt and he looked very miserable. As soon as he saw Ning Fan, he carefully presented 6 fragments of abundant knowledge to him as if he was presenting a treasure. I'm ashamed to face Lord Great Minister of War. I've searched the entire Longevity God Palace thoroughly but I only managed to find 6 fragments. There's still one that I couldn't get. Your clan has already shown great kindness by helping me find 6 fragments. Why do you need to blame yourself? Ning Fan kept the 6 fragments and planned to give Tao Wanyan some benefits as a form of gratitude. His action made Tao Wanyan's face turn pale. Great Minister of War, please don't make things difficult for us. Even if we die 10,000 times, we won't dare to accept the things of Great Minister of War. Who dares to accept the things of the Mountain and Sea Division? I'm not yours, yes, yes, yes. Lord is not the Great Minister of War. Lord must have come here to patrol in disguise. It's better not to make it public. I understand. I understand. Ning Fan's head began to ache again. He shook his head and said, forget it. Where's the last fragment now? I'll go and get it myself. What? How can you do that? The last fragment fell into the depths of the wood miasma. The wood miasma inside is strong enough to melt an immortal emperor into a pool of blood. Even a quasi-saint realm expert would find it difficult to enter. Senior, please reconsider. You can't enter such a dangerous place just for a mere fragment. Tao Wanyan became anxious after hearing what Ning Fan said. How would he dare to let Ning Fan get injured in the territory of his Peach Demon clan? Wouldn't the Mountain and Sea Division punish him heavily after this? The depths of the wood miasma. It's all right. If it's just the wood miasma, I'm not afraid. Seeing Ning Fan being so insistent, Tao Wanyan had no choice but to brace himself and bring Ning Fan to the place where the 7th fragment was. This place was a naturally formed pool of wood chi. The wood chi on the surface of the pool had not melted for many years and it had actually condensed into wood miasma. Even an immortal emperor would die if they accidentally enter it. The seventh fragment fell at the bottom of the pool. Tao Wanyan had tried everything he could, but he could not get it out. What a dense wood qi! Ning Fan's eyes lit up. That's right. The wood qi here has not melted for many years and it has already turned into wood miasma. Even an immortal emperor wouldn't dare to. Hiss. Before Tao Wanyan could finish his words, his eyes suddenly became filled with disbelief. He saw Ning Fan directly open his mouth and devour the miasma in large gulps. The miasma was enough to kill an immortal emperor. However, to Ning Fan, it was like a great supplement. Not only did it not harm him at all, but it also made him look radiant and full of vigor. After a long time, Ning Fan absorbed all the wood qi in this place and took out the seventh fragment. What level of wood cultivation base is this? Division Master. Source of Tao Law. No. It's at least a Tao orthodoxy. In the Mountain and Sea Division, those who could cultivate a Tao orthodoxy were all division masters. Could it be? This lord isn't a heavenly official of the great minister of war but an existence at the level of division master. No wonder this person refuses to admit that he is the great minister of war. The more Tao Wanyan looked at Ning Fan, the more he felt that Ning Fan was like a division master. He could not help but kneel on the ground with a thud. This subordinate has eyes but failed to see. I actually didn't know that Lord is a dignified division master. Please forgive me, division master. Ning Fan looked at Tao Wanyan helplessly. In the end, he chose to ignore him. He had already found all the fragments of the Longevity Star Palace. There was no point in staying here any longer. Ning Fan planned to leave the Longevity Star Palace and head to the ninth palace, the Quail Tail Palace. Seeing that Ning Fan was about to leave, how could Tao Wanyan be willing to let him go? Ji Fuyao also looked like he wanted to say something but hesitated, as if he had something to ask of Ning Fan. Lord Division Master, please wait. You can't go back empty-handed. Tao Wanyan mustered his courage and stopped Ning Fan. I can't go back empty-handed. Ning Fan was stunned. Yes. Lord Division Master, please allow me to report. The number of peach tributes that my clan owes is more than 100 billion. However, this isn't my clan's original intention. It's because of the accumulation of over 40 reincarnations. We have been forgotten by the Mountain and Sea Division for over 40 reincarnations. How can we gather all the peach tributes we owe in just one night? It's not that we're unwilling but we're really incapable. So, we plan to pay the redemption fee. Redemption fee? What do you mean? Lord, why do you ask when you already know the answer? Even though the laws of the Mountain and Sea Division are strict, it doesn't mean that they can't make an exception. For people like us who have delayed the payment of the tribute, we just need to pay the same amount of redemption fee and we can be absolved of our crimes. Over 40 reincarnations and 100 billion of peach tributes will need at least 100,000 taels of heavenly Tao gold if converted into redemption fee. However, my clan doesn't have any heavenly Tao gold and silver. How can we afford to pay the redemption fee? So, Ning Fan was puzzled by what he heard. That's why I want to borrow Lord's ancient country trading formation to sell some things in secret and gather some atonement money. Ancient country trading formation. What's that? Ning Fan asked with a puzzled expression. The ancient country trading formation was a secret. How could he tell others about it? Why are you evading it? You're the division master. How can you not know about this formation? Oh, I understand now. Of course, I can't use your trading formation for such illegal transactions. Otherwise, it will be troublesome when the Mountain and Sea Division checks the accounts in the future. What the hell is this? Ning Fan was speechless. I know. In this Longevity Star Palace, there's also a former location of the trading formation. It was left behind by venerated Ziwei. Unfortunately, it has been too long and many parts of the formation have been damaged. It's really a pity. You just need to repair this formation slightly and you can use it to carry out transactions with the identity of venerated Z-Wei. In the future, when the Mountain and Sea Division checks the accounts, they won't be able to find anything related to venerated Z-Wei. Of course, there's no problem. In that case, you can't evade it anymore, can you? Venerated Z-Wei was naturally referring to immortal sovereign Z-Wei. When Ning Fan heard that there was actually a former location of the trading formation left behind by immortal sovereign Z-Wei in this place, his interest was immediately piqued. Do you want to go and have a look at the former location of the trading formation first? Tao Wanyan asked respectfully. Let's go and have a look. Seeing that Ning Fan agreed to this matter, Tao Wanyan was instantly overjoyed. He led Ning Fan all the way to the main hall of the Longevity Star Palace. Among the 100 fruits, the peach was the symbol of longevity. At first glance, the appearance of the main hall of the Longevity Star Palace was like a gigantic immortal peach. In the past, immortal sovereign Z-Wei planted the peaches here. Other than having to submit a portion to the Mountain and Sea Division as usual, the rest were kept for himself. Those that could not be used up were sold off one by one. Because he often needed to sell peach blossoms and fruits, immortal sovereign Z-Wei often set up a trading formation in the Longevity Star Palace. Even today, the old formation of the immortal sovereign still remained in this place. Of course, this formation was already broken and there was not a single trace of qi left. Those who did not know about the ancient country's trading formation would not be able to imagine that it was the famous ancient country's trading formation even if they saw the ruins of the ancient formation with their own eyes. However, the Peach Demon clan knew about this secret. Some of them might ask, what is the use of a mere broken formation of a trading formation? Its use is just too great. If there is someone who knows about the trading formation and can repair it, they can use the identity of immortal sovereign Z-Wei to carry out inter-regional transactions. With Ning Fan's transaction authority, there were many things that he could not buy through the ancient country's trading formation. However, immortal sovereign Z-Wei was different. As long as a dignified fourth-step expert has money, there is nothing that he cannot buy. There is no special privilege that he cannot use. As long as he has money, he can buy anything. He can even buy Sage Realm spiritual puppets. Then, some of them would ask again. According to the usage convention of the ancient country's trading formation, the person who sets up the formation would usually erase the original formation after using it to prevent others from stealing the formation. Why didn't he erase the formation that immortal sovereign Z-Wei had used after using it? Why did he leave it here for the future generations to steal it? It was because this Longevity God Palace was immortal sovereign Z-Wei's home. It would be troublesome to erase the formation in his own home. It would be better to leave it here. Next time when he needs to use the formation, he would just need to activate it. How convenient would that be? As for the matter of others stealing the formation after his death, perhaps immortal sovereign Z-Wei would never have thought that he would be killed one day. How would he care about what would happen after his death? Is this the trading formation that immortal sovereign Z-Wei set up? It seems to be very different from mine. Ning Fan carefully studied immortal sovereign Z-Wei's trading formation. The more he looked at it, the more shocked he became. Immortal sovereign Z-Wei's trading formation was so complicated that it was unimaginably complicated. Ning Fan only took a quick glance at it and he felt that it was ancient and obscure. He could not understand it at all. His eyes glowed with green light as he tried to use his heavenly man vision to study the formation. However, it was still fine if he did not activate his heavenly man vision. As soon as he activated it, he felt as if his mind and spirit were about to be devoured by the formation. He was greatly shocked. He immediately withdrew his mind and no longer dared to use his heavenly sight to study the formation. My lord, do you have the confidence to repair this formation? Seeing Ning Fan's pale expression, Tao Wanyan was extremely worried. I can give it a try. Ning Fan did not give a definite answer. Upon hearing Ning Fan's reply, Tao Wanyan could not help but feel disappointed. It seemed like the method that he had thought of with great difficulty was going to fail. However, Tao Wanyan soon became overjoyed because Ning Fan really managed to repair this dilapidated formation after fiddling with it for a long time. The damaged parts of this trading formation were mostly at the edges. The formation principles involved were not much different from ordinary trading formations. Ning Fan naturally could repair it. However, if the important parts are damaged, he would not be able to help even if he wanted to. Lord Supervisor is really a peerless genius. You can even repair venerated Ziwei's secret trading formation. If that's the case, I have one more thing that I would like to ask you to do for me. Tao Wanyan pleaded. What is it? I would like to ask you to take control of this formation and sell all these items in exchange for gold and silver. It's not that I don't want to sell them myself. It's just that I don't know how to use this trading formation. Besides, I heard that the activation of this formation requires gold and silver from the heavenly Tao. We are just ordinary peach demons. How would we have any gold and silver from the heavenly Tao? If we do, would we still need to sell these items to atone for our sins? While speaking, Tao Wanyan took out a large pile of ancient items from his storage pouch. While taking them out, he introduced them to Ning Fan. This is the chamber pot that venerated Ziwei used to kill the giant of Wing Country and cut off his head. What a ferocious chamber pot. Even a devil lord like Ning Fan found it a little hard to endure the baleful chi it emitted. This chamber pot. Oh, no, the owner of this head. What kind of cultivation base did he have when he was still alive? Could he be a saint? Unfortunately, this chamber pot had already been destroyed by immortal sovereign Ziwei. To others, it no longer had any value. However, it might be of great use to those who had designs on the giant of Wing Country. This is the head ornament used by venerated Ziwei's seventh favorite concubine when she was still alive. Head ornaments were accessories. Even though this accessory was exquisite, it was not a magic treasure. Thus, its value should not be too high. This is the peeling knife that venerated Ziwei used to eat peaches. Other people eat peaches with their skin on. However, rumor has it that venerated Ziwei has mysophobia and she doesn't eat fruits with their skin on. This ordinary-looking small bronze knife was actually a high-grade innate magic treasure. However, it did not have any offensive power. It only had one ability, peeling off the skin of an immortal fruit without damaging the medicinal effect of the fruit. It was really a useless magic treasure. And this one, a dazzling array of treasures was placed on the ground. Ning Fan took a closer look at them and was speechless when he realized that none of these treasures were useful to him even though they had astonishing origins. Fine. Since they were going to be sold anyway, Ning Fan did not plan to snatch the treasures of these peach demons. So what if they were useful or not? There was only one point. These items were useless. Could they really be sold for money? Ning Fan was a little uncertain. However, looking at Tao Wanyan's expectant expression, he really could not say anything to discourage him. Lord Superintendent, can we start now? Tao Wanyan asked carefully. You two go out first. I will start now. Ning Fan said to Tao Wanyan and Ji Fuyao. Obviously, he did not plan to let others watch when he activates the formation. Yes. Tao Wanyan and Ji Fuyao left the Longevity God Palace obediently. Ning Fan sat at the center of the formation of the Longevity God Palace. He took out some heavenly Tao gold and activated the formation. Very soon, the light of the formation crossed the boundless space and time and connected with the heaven-reaching sect. Immortal Sovereign Ziwei's trading formation had not been activated for a long time. Therefore, when it was activated this time, no one came to receive Ning Fan even after a long time. Perhaps the disciples of the heaven-reaching sect sensed Immortal Sovereign Ziwei's trading formation but they did not know how to deal with it. An immortal sovereign who had been dead for countless years suddenly initiated a trade. No matter how one thought about it, it was a little scary. If this matter were to be spread, it would probably cause a huge uproar in the entire true world. Ning Fan waited and waited. He did not know how long he had waited. Finally, the light of the formation flickered. At the same time, a voice traveled across the formation from the boundless space and time. Are you the descendant of venerated Ziwei? The one who asked the question was an unusually old voice that seemed to have experienced the vicissitudes of life. I'm not. Ning Fan replied. There's no need to deny it. Venerated Ziwei is already dead. I won't go so far as to demand revenge from his descendant for a single palm strike in the past. That old voice said indifferently. Who is the old man in front of me? He actually has a grudge against immortal sovereign Ziwei. Could it be that he is still alive after receiving a palm strike from immortal sovereign Ziwei? Just as Ning Fan was guessing, the Ant Lord in his sea of consciousness was stunned. This voice belongs to third senior brother. The Ant Lord's emotions began to stir. She wanted to break free from Ning Fan's sea of consciousness and walk out to talk to her third senior brother. However, she could not do so. Who else could the Ant Lord's third senior brother be? Of course, it was the sect master of the heaven-reaching sect, the Heavenly Reaching Sage. The Heavenly Reaching Sage was the one who personally received him in the immortal sovereign trading formation. Since Ning Fan knew that the person who received him was the Heavenly Reaching Sage, he could not help but feel a little worried. Fortunately, the other party did not notice the existence of the Ant Lord at all, and she did not harbor any hostility towards Ning Fan. Descendant of Ziwei, what do you want to buy? The Heavenly Reaching Sage asked. I won't buy anything for the time being. I have some things here that I want to sell to your cult. As soon as he heard that Ning Fan was actually here to sell something and all the things he wanted to sell were the relics of immortal sovereign Ziwei, the Heavenly Reaching Sage immediately felt a little displeased. You are the descendant of venerated Ziwei. How can you sell the relics of your ancestor at such a low price? Originally, he planned to give some face to the descendant of Ziwei out of consideration for venerated Ziwei. Therefore, he personally received Ning Fan. Now, however, he was angry at the descendant of Ziwei for being unfilial and was unwilling to receive Ning Fan anymore. Thus, the Heavenly Reaching Sage left and another person came to receive Ning Fan. May I know what fellow Taoist wants to sell? The second person who received him was obviously not someone on the same level as the Heavenly Reaching Sage. Facing the trading formation of immortal sovereign Ziwei, he was a little fearful even though the Ning Fan he was facing was not the real Ziwei sage. Let's sell this chamber pot first. How much is it worth? Ning Fan sent the information about the chamber pot of the giant of Wing Country to the person who received him. At first, when the person heard that Ning Fan wanted to sell chamber pots, he could not help but feel a little disdainful. However, when he saw that the chamber pot was actually made from the skull of the sage of Wing Country, he was first shocked and then he was overjoyed. Good news! Good news! The ancestors' remains that the venerated sovereign of Wing Country offered as a reward has actually been found in this place. This chamber pot can be sold for 30,000 gold ingots. Ning Fan was astonished. A chamber pot can also be sold for 30,000 gold ingots. Just the skull of a sage who had destroyed all samsara is worth so much. Chapter 1247. The chamber pot of the giants of the Wing Country that Ning Fan did not think highly of was sold at a high price of 30,000 gold coins. Since they used the Immortal Emperor trading formation, the Heavenly Reaching Church paid 10 taels of heavenly Tao gold each. Looking at the pile of gold ingots in front of him, Ning Fan was momentarily speechless. One had to know that his current wealth was only about 20,000 taels of heaven Tao gold, which was less than a chamber pot. What's with this subtle sense of disparity? Fellow Taoist, do you have anything else to sell? There are a few more. Fellow Taoist, please take a look. What do you think of this? Although this accessory was not a magic treasure, it was quite mysterious. So that was how it was. This object was a wizard artifact, and it was an extremely rare face illusion wizard artifact. It was useless to ordinary people, but to the ugly women, it was a priceless treasure. The females of this clan had suffered a curse for generations. The higher their cultivation, the uglier their appearance would become. No immortal technique or spirit medicine was capable of changing their appearance, and only the beauty illusion shaman artifact could accomplish this. Therefore, this clan's female saint has been bitterly seeking for a face-changing artifact for a long time. It's a pity that she couldn't obtain it. This item is worth 85,000 gold. The feeling of disparity gradually increased. Fellow Taoist, take another look. How much is this paring knife worth? Could this be the last of the 16 treasures of the ancestral Pao? The great sage of cow dismemberment had been studying the art of cooking day and night, and he had already gathered the other 15 tools, except for this one. He had been searching for it bitterly but to no avail, and he had never expected to see it here. It is said that there is a secret behind this item. Don't tell me the story. Just tell me the price. Alright, this item is worth 18,000 gold. How much is this inkstone worth? There was nothing special about the inkstone itself. The problem was that it was made of talent chi stone. The talent chi stone is rare in the world, and it is something that the Confucian saints of the true world can only dream of. This item is worth 54,000 gold. How about this broom? It's actually the worldly weapon of Shi Zong's fifth patriarch. This item is worth 22,000 gold coins, and this land deed, oh? Isn't this the deed of the Lu land issued by the Mountain and Sea Office? Immortal Emperor Ziwei owns 3,122 hectares of farmland in the Mountain and Sea Division. However, because the land deed was lost, no one can inherit the land. This land deed is worth 312,200 gold coins. That's right, I still have some essence peach blossoms here, oh? Fellow Taoist, are you talking about the origin peach blossom, which is known as Saint D Fire Tribute Tea? Fellow Taoist, truth be told, the Mountain and Sea Division is in charge of the circulation of this item. Because of that, we only dare to purchase it in secret. Furthermore, we have to lower the purchase price. At most, we can offer you 350 gold ingots for one tail of peach blossom. Is that acceptable to you? Sure. That's good. How many yuan peach blossoms do you have? About 200 or 300 caddies, cough cough cough. Fellow Taoist, are you joking? Saint D Fire Tribute Tea is incredibly rare, so how could you possibly have 1 to 300 kilograms? Hiss. It's actually real. It's a total of 313 caddies and 12 tails and 9 chien. There were countless immortal kingdoms in the true world, and there were many different types of currencies. Other than immortal jades and Tao crystals, there were also some special currencies in circulation: spirit stones, jade shells, tortoise shells, scale coins, bone coins. There were many different types. Heavenly Tao gold was also a type of currency, but due to its large denomination, it was usually not circulated among low-grade cultivators. It was very common for an immortal king of a true world to possess 3 to 5 taels of heavenly Tao gold. If this immortal king has 30 to 50 taels of heavenly Tao gold, he must be a disciple of a major sect or have some other great fortune. There were very few immortal kings who possessed 3 to 500 taels of heavenly Tao gold. Even if this person had a strong background, the elders of his clan would not allow him to carry such a huge amount of money around. Therefore, it was even more impossible to see an immortal king of a true world with 3 to 5,000 taels of heavenly Tao gold. 30 to 50,000 gold taels. Dream on. 3 to 500,000 gold taels. This was already the entire wealth of a minority of virtuous saints. How could an immortal king have it? Then, as the Doomsday Immortal King, how much money did he have? This pile of items was actually sold for 2,270,000 gold taels. Ning Fan stared at the small mountain of gold ingots in front of him with an indescribable expression. He did not expect that the seemingly useless relics of Ziwei could actually be sold at such a high price. Moreover, he did not expect that the Peach Demon clan would not accept the money that he earned for them and insisted on giving it to him. When Tao Wanyan found out that Ning Fan had actually sold a pile of junk for 2,270,000 gold taels, he was completely dumbfounded. He actually had no idea how much heavenly Tao gold there was. He did not know what 27 million gold could buy. He only knew that this amount of money was enough for the Peach Demon tribe to escape punishment 22 times over. Thank you, my lord, for earning the atonement for our clan. Logically speaking, your excellency has already done enough for my Peach Demon clan, but this lowly one still wishes to be thick-skinned and trouble your excellency once. Sir, please forgive me for my rudeness. I would like to ask Lord Supervisor to bring this sum of money back to the Mountain and Sea Division and help my clan get rid of their crimes. I wonder if this is possible or not. As soon as Tao Wanyan finished speaking, he stared at Ning Fan with a nervous expression, afraid that Ning Fan would reject his request. He was very worried that Ning Fan would not be willing to help the Peach Demon clan escape from punishment. In reality, although paying for a crime was a special case of the Mountain and Sea Division, this special case could not be applied to everything. Whether it could be applied or not depended on the judgment of the division chief. In the Mountain and Sea Division, there were usually 5 people in charge. One of them was the chief, and the other 4 were the deputies. From Tao Wanyan's point of view, it was true that Ning Fan was the division head of the Mountain and Sea Division. However, he was probably just a vice division head and not the division head. After all, the position of chief minister had always been held by women without exception. That was why there was the saying of escaping punishment. If the Peach Demon clan prepared enough atonement money but the chief minister denied their right to get rid of their crimes, all their efforts would be in vain. Bribing Ning Fan and asking him to help them bribe the chief minister was the key. I've said it countless times. I'm not a member of the Mountain and Sea Division. I can't bring your atonement money to this place. Ning Fan said helplessly. Upon hearing his words, Tao Wanyan was so anxious that he nearly cried. My lord, please save us for the sake of my clan's diligent service. This sum of money is 27 million gold. You just need to take 100,000 of it to atone for your crimes. The rest of the money will belong to you. Take it as the money for your tea. Since you've received so much money, isn't it enough to bribe everyone? I don't think the chief minister will make things difficult for you. Could it be that the chief minister has a huge appetite and this amount of money is still far from enough? Please give me a clear answer. Is this amount of money enough for the chief minister to forgive us? Ning Fan felt that it was too strenuous to talk to Tao Wanyan. Thus, he directly ignored his question and went on a daydream. Sure enough, it's still not enough. No wonder you feel troubled and keep rejecting me. It turns out that this is the crux of the problem. However, this is already all that my clan can gather. Fine. Whether this matter succeeds or not will depend on the will of the heavens. My lord, you just need to take this money away. Even if my clan can't get rid of our crimes and is executed by the Mountain and Sea Division, we can't blame you. Just like that, the Peach Demon clan inexplicably gave Ning Fan 27 million taels of heavenly Tao gold. He had tried to reject them, but Tao Wanyan would rather commit suicide on the spot than to reject their sincerity in atonement. After a few times, Ning Fan was too lazy to talk nonsense with them and simply accepted the money. Little Ning, remember this. If you don't take the benefits, you're a fool, the old devil's earnest teachings echoed in Ning Fan's ears. Eventually, all of his memories turned into a smile. Master, I'm afraid you've never encountered someone rushing to give you money. I've taken the money from the Peach Demon clan. No matter what, it's impossible for me to atone for their crimes. After all, I'm not a member of the Mountain and Sea Division. However, I can't just take this money for nothing. Ever since I entered the Longevity God Palace, I've been treated well by this clan. Moreover, I'm also using this clan's treasured land for seclusion. I should express my gratitude. Ning Fan was finally going to leave the Longevity God Palace. However, before he left, he wanted to accomplish 2 things. The first thing was to give the Peach Demon clan some benefits. Thus, Ning Fan found Tao Wanyan and said, according to my observation, the ancient yuan peach trees in the Peach Blossom Spring are on the verge of death because their wood chi has dissipated for too long. Because of my arrival, these trees were stained with a small amount of wood chi that I unintentionally leaked out. That's why they look like withered trees receiving a new lease of life. However, it's actually just the final radiance of a setting sun. Once I leave this place, without the nourishment of my wood chi, these ancient yuan peach trees will still wither and die. Do you know about this? Lord Division Master's observation is meticulous. I'm impressed. Sigh. Humans have their own life and trees have their own death. These ancient yuan peach trees have lived for too long. Their wood chi has already been exhausted. It's expected for them to wither and die. When the yuan peach blossoms, the water is boiled into tea. When the yuan peach bears fruit, it falls to the ground and becomes a demon. We, the yuan peach demons, are transformed from the yuan peach fruits. Therefore, in a sense, this tree is where the inheritance of our clan lies. Once this tree dies, the inheritance of our clan will be cut off and we will eventually go extinct. Tao Wanyan said with a sorrowful expression. The peach demons were only afraid of two things in their lives. Firstly, they would be punished by the mountain and sea division if they owed too many years of tribute. Secondly, once the ancient yuan peach trees wither, the peach demon clan in the longevity god palace would gradually decline and eventually go extinct. Don't worry. With me here, this tree won't die. Ning Fan made his move. He showed a rare serious expression and exerted the power of his wood divine spark to its limit. On this day, the wood chi was like a dragon that covered the entire sky and engulfed the entire longevity god palace. On this day, all the peach trees in the longevity god palace were affected by the power of his divine spark and grew at an insane rate. The trees that were 10 zhang tall grew to 10 zhang tall. The trees that were 10 zhang tall grew to 100 zhang tall. The trees that were 100 zhang tall grew to 1000 zhang tall. The ancient yuan peach trees that were originally withered were now filled with wood chi by Ning Fan. Tao Wanyan was dumbfounded. He had lived for a lifetime but he had never heard of such a profound wood cultivation base in this world. This had already surpassed the boundary of the Tao orthodoxy and his understanding. Even when Ning Fan walked out of the peach blossom spring, the peach demons were still stunned on the spot. They could not regain their senses for a long time. As for the peach demon clan's leader, Tao Wanyan, he was completely dumbfounded. He stared at the direction where Ning Fan left and kept muttering to himself. It's not the division master. It's impossible that it's just the division master. Other than the owner of the mountain and sea division, who else could do this and extend the life of the tribute trees conferred by the mountain and sea division? He's not the division master. He's the mountain and sea lord. Since he helped us and solved the problem of the ancient tree, does it mean that he has forgiven our clan? Our clan has already been absolved of our sins. Of course, it was impossible for Ning Fan to be the mountain and sea lord. The mountain and sea lord was someone else. The moment Ning Fan forcefully saved the ancient yuan peach tree, the owner of the mountain and sea division who was far away in the true world sensed something. He slowly opened his eyes from his deep slumber. He was slightly puzzled. Almost at the same time when the mountain and sea lord opened his eyes, the accumulated snow in the mountain and sea division began to melt. The 4 seasons were within a single thought. This is strange. The peach blossom spring has been missing for a long time. Because it's no longer useful, the vitality of all the tribute trees in this place has been extracted by me. However, at this moment, the tree that was about to die actually regained its vitality. It's impossible for the mountain and sea division to make a mistake. Then, there's only one explanation. Someone has interfered in this matter. Moreover, his Tao of wood is enough to ignore the order of the mountain and sea division. He must have at least a first-grade immortal lattice. Those who have an immortal lattice must be an immortal spirit. However, there's no such person among the immortal spirits that I know. Who exactly is this person? What's the meaning behind his actions? Is he targeting me or is he warning me? In my long samsara, when have I ever offended such a person? My old injuries have yet to heal. If I face this person now, do I have a chance of winning? The mountain and sea lord's face was filled with slight worry. However, it was just a slight worry. He was not an ordinary cultivator of Saint D fire. Even if a powerful enemy really comes to attack him, he would at most lose some of his samsara. However, his subordinates obviously did not think so. When the officials of the Mountain and Sea Division saw the worried expression on the Mountain and Sea Lord's face, all of them were shocked. Since ancient times, the Mountain and Sea Lord had only shown worry 13 times. Every time he showed worry, a powerful enemy of Saint D fire would definitely come to attack him. This time, it was the 14th time he showed worry. Could it be that another powerful enemy is coming? For a moment, the entire Mountain and Sea Division fell into an unprecedented panic. Rumors kept spreading. Therefore, it did not take long before all the powerful beings in the entire true world heard that the Mountain and Sea Division was in big trouble again. Ning Fan did not know that his unintentional action had caused the dignified Mountain and Sea Lord to worry about him and even caused the entire Mountain and Sea Division to be in a state of chaos. After leaving the Peach Blossom Spring, Ning Fan returned to the main hall of Longevity Star Palace and did the second thing. He took the trading formation left behind by immortal sovereign Ziwei with him. It was obviously not an easy task to copy a fourth-step formation technique into the formation diagram, even though the formation diagram had been abandoned for countless years and was already worn out. In the beginning, Ning Fan used all of his means, but he still could not copy the formation. Then, he took another path and tried to persuade the formation patiently, trying to make it submit to him on its own. Thus, the following conversation happened. Ning Fan, I'm Ning Fan. Previously, I used brother formation to make a trade, but I didn't have the time to talk to you. I hope brother formation can forgive me for my rudeness. Ziwei trading formation, I'm not brother formation. My formation I is located in the extreme Yin realm and not the extreme Yang realm. Didn't you teach me a lesson before? Don't you know that? Ning Fan, I'm sorry. I was careless and called you the wrong gender, the Ziwei trading formation, so that's how it is. So you didn't know that I'm a woman. No wonder you were touching everywhere when you were repairing my formation diagram. I thought you were a lecher who was taking advantage of me. Ning Fan, Ziwei trading formation, are you here to take me away? Ning Fan was a little surprised. How did you know? Ziwei trading formation blushed. What else can I do other than following you after what you did to me? You have to be responsible for me. Even if you didn't say it, I would still follow you. Now that you've taken the initiative to ask me, I'm even happier. At this moment, the Ant Lord was shocked. Since when did Ning Fan do such things to a formation? She actually did not notice it at all. Could it be that this little divine spirit Ning did something to this formation diagram when I was unconscious? That's why I didn't notice it. Beast! You're truly the #1 beast in the world. First you did it to the umbrella, then you did it to the stone. Now, you're even doing it to the formation diagram. The Ant Lord did not check Ning Fan's memories to confirm whether he had really bullied the formation diagram maiden. She was afraid that she would see something filthy and dirty her eyes. And because she did not confirm this matter, Ning Fan unknowingly became a scapegoat. This time, he really did not do anything to the Ziwei trading formation. Only this time, he was really innocent. How could Ning Fan not know what the Ant Lord was thinking? He felt a little helpless for a moment, but he was too lazy to explain. In short, after a short conversation with Ziwei trading formation, Ning Fan easily copied the formation diagram and left. When Ning Fan left the Longevity God Palace, a trace of demon soul followed behind him and left together with him. It was the clan leader of Feng Nu clan, Ji Fuyao. Sensing that Ji Fuyao was following him, Ning Fan stopped and asked, "What's the matter?" "Junior has a request, Senior." Ji Fuyao wanted to say something but stopped. Previously, when she was being chased by the Pill Devils, it was Ning Fan who saved her. After that, he even generously healed the injury of her demon soul. He was extremely benevolent and righteous. Logically speaking, she already owed Ning Fan too much and should not be so thick-skinned as to make a request. However, This matter was related to whether she could avenge her parents. After hesitating for a long time, she finally decided to ask Ning Fan for a favor again. What do you want from me? Contrary to his usual behavior, Ning Fan did not reject Ji Fuyao's request immediately. Instead, he asked with a gentle expression. Ning Fan was not a kind person who would easily help strangers. However, this woman had a great deal of karma with him. Perhaps in the distant past or in the distant future, he was really her master, thus, he decided to listen to her request. I want to ask Senior to help me find 3 types of medicinal herbs. In fact, I have already found one of them. However, when I was being chased by the pill devils, that medicinal herb was taken away by them due to a moment of carelessness. You want me to help you find the medicinal herbs? What kind of medicinal herbs do you need? As soon as Ji Fuyao heard Ning Fan's question, she felt relieved inwardly. How could she not know that Ning Fan already had the intention to help her? Thus, she said gratefully, I need the soul-transforming leaf, the saint extermination grass and the Tao sealing spirit spring. You mean, you want me to buy these 3 items with the ancient country trading formation? Ning Fan smiled meaningfully. Ji Fuyao became anxious and hurriedly explained, the ancient country trading formation? I don't understand what Senior is talking about. Ever since I met Senior, I don't know anything or have seen anything. Please don't worry about this, Senior. She clearly knew about the ancient country trading formation. She also knew that Ning Fan knew the trading method of an ancient country. She also knew that Ning Fan had taken away the immortal Emperor Ziwei trading formation. Moreover, she also knew that Ning Fan had obtained a large amount of heavenly Tao gold from the Peach Demon clan. However, she had to keep all of these to herself. She understood this logic. If Senior still doesn't feel at ease, you can just plant a restriction on me. Ji Fuyao added. There's no need. I naturally won't feel at ease if it's someone else. However, you are an exception. Ning Fan said indifferently. Ji Fuyao, on the other hand, blushed. Ning Fan's words are too ambiguous, am I an exception? But why am I an exception? Could it be that Senior has taken a fancy to my looks? If that's the case, as long as Senior can help me find these 3 medicinal herbs, I'm willing. Ji Fuyao originally wanted to say, I'll repay you with my body. However, she immediately recalled that in order to recruit pill refinement masters, she had already made a promise to the myriad clans in the border river, I'm willing to repay anyone who helps me refine the old trader of the Northern Sea to death. What should I do now? Ning Fan activated the mind-reading technique silently, allowing him to see through Ji Fuyao's inner thoughts. Thus, Ning Fan became speechless. This lady seems to be his disciple. Why would he do something to his disciple? This lady is thinking too much. You don't have to repay me with your body. I'll just repay you with money after the matter is over. Ning Fan said indifferently. Senior, you misunderstood me. That's not what I meant. Ji Fuyao's face became even redder. For some reason, she who had always been cold and aloof could not put on any airs in front of Ning Fan. This feeling was very similar to the feeling she had when she was facing her father and mother. Ning Fan shook his head and did not continue this topic. Instead, he said, if I activate the ancient country trading formation, I should be able to buy the 3 medicinal herbs you mentioned easily. There's no need to spend so much. Senior might not know this, but the 3 types of medicinal herbs that I'm looking for can be found in the North Pole Palace. Indeed, there's no need to use the trading formation to obtain them. Ning Fan nodded. Senior should know that the North Pole Palace has a total of 12 palaces. The holy extinguishing grass that I'm looking for is located in the 11th palace, the Great Fire Palace. That Great Fire Palace is a land of utmost fire in the 10 realms. The holy extinguishing grass grows in that place, the Great Fire Palace. The land of utmost fire in the 10 realms? After hearing what she said, Ning Fan's expression changed slightly. With a thought in his mind, he took out a fiery red lump of soil from the profound Yin world. This is... Ji Fuyao was surprised. She did not know why Ning Fan suddenly took this item out. She carefully studied the lump of soil. When she saw it, her small face was so shocked that she could not close her mouth. How is that a lump of soil? What Ning Fan was holding in his hand was clearly a burning continent of fire. It was not an ordinary continent. It was the land of utmost fire in the 10 realms that Ning Fan had conveniently taken away when he passed by the Great Fire Palace. This was the heavenly dwelling land that immortal sovereign Ziwei left in the Great Fire Palace. With Ning Fan's cultivation base, he did not have the ability to take away this item. Even if it had been without an owner for many years. Who asked Ning Fan to be so good at chatting? He went to chat with the land of utmost fire in the 10 realms. After chatting for a while, the land took the initiative to come to him. Hence, Ning Fan placed this piece of land in the profound Yin world. All of a sudden, the fire's spiritual vein in the profound Yin world became extraordinarily strong. Whoever was a fire cultivator in the cauldron would have their cultivation speed increase by more than 10 times. After all, this was a fire vein that could only be found in an average of 1 out of 10 boundless worlds. It was not strange at all for it to have such a miraculous effect. As the lord of the profound Yin world, Ning Fan naturally received the blessings of the utmost fire of the 10 realms. While his fire cultivation speed increased by more than 10 times, the power of his fire attribute abilities also skyrocketed. Senior, could it be that you are a saint? Otherwise, how would you be able to take away the land of utmost fire in the 10 realms? Many outsiders have entered the North Pole Palace in recent years, but none of them could do this. Ji Fuyao was dumbfounded. I'm not a saint. That's not the main point. The main point is that the medicinal herb that you want should still be growing here. I have not touched it before. Go and look for it. It should still be there. Hence, with Ning Fan's help, Ji Fuyao turned into a ray of light and flew towards the small piece of soil. Not long after, she flew out from the soil with an additional saint vanquishing grass in her flower basket. Aren't you going to pick a few more? It's enough. Ji Fuyao quickly waved her hand. What a joke. She already owed Senior a medicinal herb. How could she take more? Moreover, 1 stalk is really enough. Where are the other 2? Ning Fan asked again. The soul-transforming leaf is in the Quail Tail Palace. As for the Tao Sealing Spirit Spring, it's in the Star Order Palace. After hesitating for a while, Ji Fuyao still mentioned the Star Order Palace as if it was an extremely dangerous place. The Quail Tail Palace and the Star Order Palace, huh? I got it. Ning Fan nodded. After all, he still had to search the entire North Pole Palace to find the fragments of polylore unparalleled. It was not a big deal for him to help Ji Fuyao find the required medicinal herbs along the way. Senior, the Star Order Palace is very dangerous. The Quail Tail Palace is also very dangerous. As a matter of fact, every palace in this place is very dangerous. Ji Fuyao felt rather apologetic. She had dragged her senior into danger. She owed him too much, and she didn't know how to repay him. How could it be possible to pay with gold? Furthermore, after senior's previous transactions, how could he possibly lack money? It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he was the wealthiest person in the Purple Mountain Battle Sea. It's fine. You just need to follow behind me. Don't worry. Ning Fan smiled casually and left the Longevity God Palace with his little follower, Ji Fuyao, entering the Quail Tail Palace. The Quail Tail Palace was the territory of pill devils. Almost as soon as Ning Fan stepped into this place, the pill devils sensed his arrival. At the same time, Ning Fan withdrew his casual smile. His eyes were as cold as a devil's. How dare you? You killed the Sea Devil General and his men, yet you still dare to step into the Quail Tail Palace. Do you really think that we pill devils are weak? At the next moment, countless black shadows with towering devil chi rushed towards Ning Fan. Facing the attack of the group of devils, Ning Fan just lifted his finger and 9 rain dragons appeared between heaven and earth. Leave no one alive. Take back all the pills we got. Ning Fan just gave an indifferent order and the rain dragons immediately began their merciless slaughter. Not many pill devils could withstand a single attack from the rain dragons. Most of them would be bitten to death by the rain dragons in just a single move. After all, it was true sovereign Northern Sea's ultimate technique. Ning Fan did not bother to take out the Virtue Umbrella to kill the enemies. He had already tested the existence of the Virtue Umbrella to attack them. Thus, he did not want to use a butcher's knife to kill chickens. The Virtue Umbrella also had emotions. She was also unwilling to waste her power to deal with some ants. Since Ning Fan was the umbrella's owner, he would be more or less considerate. Chapter 1248. The white waves were connected to the sea, and the sand was vast and boundless. Dusk had passed and morning had come. The East Sea had turned into mulberry fields. Legend had it that there was a sea of void in the east sky called the East Sea. The East Sea was actually a very common name. All the seas in the east could be called the East Sea. There were no less than 1,000 places called the East Sea in the Purple Battle Illusion realm, but only the East Sea was slightly special. This was because the East Sea used to be one of the Tao sites of the East Sky Ancestor Emperor. It had a special meaning to the cultivators of the East Sky. However, the East Sky Ancestor Emperor still died in the end. He was killed by the chaotic Kuan sacred sect because of the heaven sealing technique. After that, the East Sky Ancestor Emperor declined and no longer had many cultivators. There were only tens of thousands of cultivators living in the East Sea now. They were basically the descendants of the East Sky Ancestor Emperor and called themselves the East Sea Clan. In the deepest part of the East Sea, there was a sea eye. It was said that there was an infinite desolate stone gate under it. There were 9 infinite desolate stone gates left behind by immortal Emperor Zido in the illusion realm. 6 of them were widely known, while the locations of the remaining 3 were unknown. Of the 6 stone gates, 4 of them had already been destroyed. Only the 2 stone gates of the Savage Desolate Ancient Region and the Extreme Dan Sacred Region could still be passed through. The East Sea Gate had already been destroyed. The East Sea Clan hadn't sent troops to guard this place for too long. However, for some reason, the East Sea Clan sent a large number of troops to guard this place again. It seemed that something big was happening in the Sea Eye. Even the clan leader of the East Sea Clan, Dong Yuni, who was at the end of his lifespan, personally came to the Sea Eye. Ancestor, your great heavenly tribulation is approaching. You shouldn't go out right now. You should stay in your cave residence and prepare for this matter. The juniors of the clan advised. Dong Yuni ignored their advice and only stared at the Sea Eye. When she was young, she was called the East Sea Fairy. Her beauty was the best in the East Sky. Countless cultivators wanted to become Tao companions with her, but her answer was only rejection. She grew old alone, and no one knew why she was like this. Now, she was old and frail, with 1 foot in the grave, but at this time, she met that person again. How joyful! How sorrowful! Old ancestor, the East Sea Eye is too dangerous. Even demi-saints wouldn't dare to enter it. If that senior entered it rashly, I'm afraid he's already. You really don't have to wait any longer. The juniors continued to persuade him. You don't understand. He'll be fine. How could a mere sea eye kill him? In the past, even the 3 sea suppressing saints couldn't kill him even after joining hands. He will definitely come out. A look of reminiscence appeared on Dong Yuni's face. He seemed to recall the first time he saw that person countless years ago. It was as if he had encountered a startled swan. Like a lifelong mistake. 3 sea protector sages. Who was that? Is there such a character in the eastern sky? Or is it an expert from the other 3 heavens? The clan's juniors were all at a loss. Dong Yuni only shook his head slightly. He did not tell these juniors that the 3 sea suppressing sages were not cultivators from the illusory world, but powerful warriors from the true world. Speaking of which, who exactly is that senior? The infinite desolate stone gate in the Sea Eye has long been destroyed. Why is he so stubborn and insisted on taking the risk to enter? The younger generation of the clan asked again. He is. Dong Yuni wanted to say the name of that person. In the end, he shook his head and swallowed the two words ancient chaos. She couldn't tell anyone about ancient chaos. She knew him very well. Since ancient chaos didn't hesitate to burn his remaining life force to use the yin-yang unpredictable spell, he must have a very important purpose. She couldn't expose ancient chaos whereabouts. That's right. Currently, Great Emperor Ancient Chaos was in the eastern sky. Moreover, he was right below the sea eye of the eastern sea. However, no one knew the true whereabouts of Great Emperor Ancient Chaos. Everything was disrupted by the unpredictable yin-yang. Even the saints could not get rid of this layer of interference. Ning Fan had always thought that Great Emperor Ancient Chaos had already left the eastern sky and headed to the northern heaven. It was because he sensed that Great Emperor Ancient Chaos had been here before at the eastern border river. That was why he made such a judgment. Now that he looked at it again, his deduction was obviously wrong. Seeing that the old ancestor did not want to say more, the juniors obviously did not dare to ask more questions. Instead, they began to talk about other things. I heard that after the Eastern Yama had pacified the foreign races of the eastern sky, he suddenly disappeared. Hee. That person sure knows his place. If he covets the position of the ancestral emperor of the eastern sky because of his achievement in pacifying the border river, our eastern sea clan will be the first to not let him go. Our clan's greatest treasure, the Lu Yuan sword, is a magic treasure of the saints. Even though it is already half destroyed, it still has the power to kill an immortal emperor with a single slash. I wonder how many slashes that Eastern Yama can withstand. Speaking of this Lu Yuan sword, we have to talk about our old ancestor. It is said that this Lu Yuan sword is not something that our ancestor left behind for him. Instead, it was given to him by someone else. It is said that the reason why our old ancestor remained unmarried for his entire life was because he was waiting for the person who gave him the sword. If that's the case, could the senior who entered the CI be the person who gave him the sword? Otherwise, given our old ancestor's cold personality, how could he possibly? Shut up. How can you talk about our old ancestor? As for that Eastern Yama, he is not someone who can be trifled with. In the future, if I hear you spouting nonsense again, don't blame the clan for punishing you. The more the juniors talked, the more ridiculous they became. Finally, the elders of the Eastern Sea clan were displeased. They began to scold them one after another. Dong Yuni was not angry. She had no time to care about these nonsense. Her eyes were still fixed on the sea eye. She was waiting for that person to break out of the sea. Even though she firmly believed that the ancient Chaos Great Emperor was extremely powerful, he was still someone who had died once. Even if he was resurrected now, he did not seem to have much lifespan left. She did not know how much of his strength was left. She did not know whether the chaotic Tao laws in the sea would be a threat to him. I think I should go down and take a look. Dong Yuni's expression finally wavered. She took out an old sword case from her storage pouch and carried it on her back. She was about to enter the sea eye of the Eastern Sea. This scene frightened the cultivators of the clan so much that their expressions changed. They desperately tried to stop her. Old ancestor, you can't. The danger of the sea eye is not something we can resist. If you enter it recklessly, you will definitely die. Just as she was trying to dissuade her, she suddenly saw the sea water at the sea eye split apart. Following that, a dark yin-yang light flew out from the sea eye. It was none other than the ancient Chaos Great Emperor. As expected, there is a problem with this stone door. The ancient Chaos Great Emperor carried two heads in his hands and walked out from the sea. Those two heads did not reveal any murderous aura at all. It was obvious that they were concealed by the ancient Chaos Great Emperor's divine ability. As such, the ordinary clansmen of the Eastern Sea naturally could not determine whether the cultivation of the owner of those two heads was high or low. However, they still felt a little strange. When this senior entered the sea eye, he clearly did not have the heads in his hands. Could it be that he killed these two people in the sea eye? But how is this possible? The sea eye is so dangerous. How could an ordinary person hide in it? None of the clansmen of the Eastern Sea could see the power of those two heads except for Dong Yuni. Dong Yuni's expression changed immediately. If she was not mistaken, the owner of those two heads was at least a quasi-saint when he was alive. Moreover, it was very likely that he was at the second rank. No wonder the ancient Chaos Great Emperor had entered the Sea Eye for such a long time. It turned out that he was entangled by the enemy. You're injured. As expected, I'm afraid you haven't even recovered a tenth of your strength after coming back to life. Otherwise, how could you be injured when facing such an enemy? Why didn't you wait for me to enter the Sea Eye with you? I'm no longer the burden I was in the past. Dong Yuni was extremely anxious. He immediately wanted to treat Ancient Chaos Great Emperor's injuries. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor shook his head, indicating that there was no need for him to treat his injuries. He opened his mouth and swallowed the heads of the two quasi-saints. Then, he sat down cross-legged and began to refine them. It's actually the ancient demon-eating technique. Eating humans' blood essence and assimilating it into one's own body. Isn't this technique already lost? Some people recognized Ancient Chaos Great Emperor's ability and their expressions changed. Of course, Ancient Chaos Great Emperor would not explain anything to others. After treating his injuries, he pinched his fingers and calculated. Then, a smile finally appeared on his cold and stiff face. The battle of the eastern sky has already ended, huh? Sure enough, that brat is enough to deal with the foreign races. There's no need for me to get involved at all. It turned out that before the battle of the eastern border river had ended, Ancient Chaos Great Emperor had already entered the Sea Eye. He had only come out now. Naturally, he knew nothing about what was happening in the outside world. He continued to pinch his fingers and calculate something. Suddenly, his expression turned solemn and he became silent. It was because he had calculated something. During the battle between Ning Fan and blood god Gung Wu, the ancestor of the godly Void Pavilion had appeared for a short while. If he did not enter the Sea Eye, perhaps he would be able to meet her again. However, what could he do even if he met her? Other than thanking her for building the divine tomb and helping him resurrect, he could not say anything else. It would only make her disappointed. In that case, it might be better not to meet her. Uncle Gu, have you been well all these years? Dong Yuni looked at Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. Her emotions suddenly became turbulent. She wanted to say too much and ask too many questions. In the end, when the words reached the tip of her tongue, it was just a greeting that was similar to nonsense. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor had been surviving in the divine tomb for all these years. How could he be well? What kind of silly question was she asking? Oh. You are. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor was slightly surprised. In fact, he still did not recognize who Dong Yuni was until now. Dong Yuni smiled bitterly. She patted her storage pouch and took out a talisman. After a slight hesitation, she resolutely slapped it on her body. All of a sudden, the traces of time seemed to be temporarily erased from her body. She was no longer old. She gradually became younger and eventually, she became the person he knew. Old ancestor, so beautiful. Some of the clansmen of the Eastern Sea were shocked by Dong Yuni's appearance when she was young. In order to survive the next great heavenly tribulation, old ancestor had no choice but to seal the remaining essence blood. He wanted to temporarily unseal it when the heavenly tribulation came. Now, he actually unsealed it in advance. How can this be? When the heavenly tribulation comes, how is old ancestor going to deal with it? Some elders in the clan who knew the seriousness of the problem all had unpleasant expressions. However, they did not dare to say anything because of Dong Yuni's seniority. Uncle Gu, do you recognize me now? Dong Yuni's eyes flickered and looked at Ancient Chaos Great Emperor with a smile. So it's you, the youngest daughter of the Eastern Demon Ancestor. Ancient Chaos finally recognized Dong Yuni and immediately felt a headache. This little girl had been giving him a headache since a long time ago. Now, it was even more so. You are still so willful. If you want to tell me your identity, you only need to explain it to me. Why did you unseal the essence blood that had been sealed for many years? Ancient Chaos Great Emperor sighed. I insist on doing this. I insist on letting you see my best appearance. Dong Yuni finally recognized Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. The tip of her eyebrows and the corner of her eyes were filled with joy. He, I and your father are friends of the same generation. What kind of appearance have I not seen before? As if recalling the past, Ancient Chaos Great Emperor also revealed a sentimental smile. However, this time, it was Dong Yuni's turn to be unhappy. The words I and your father are friends of the same generation was the second sentence that she did not want to hear in her life. She really hoped that Ancient Chaos Great Emperor would treat her as a friend of the same generation. Uncle Gu, you have the mind-reading technique. There is no way I can hide my thoughts from you. You know that I don't want to hear this sentence, but you still want to say it. You keep saying it and keep saying it. I know that you are using this sentence to remind me and avoid me. You have set your mind on Sister He Yao and are unwilling to pay attention to others. I understand. But now, Sister He Yao is no longer here. Why are you still unwilling to look at me? Ancient Chaos Great Emperor sighed. He did not know how to respond to Dong Yuni's words. You are always like this. You have always been like this. Sister He Yao is already dead, but I am still here. It is not only me. Sister Xiang has always been waiting for you. She paid a huge price to build the divine tomb for you. She painstakingly guarded the divine tomb just to protect your remnant soul. However, until her death, she could not wait for your feelings. You are so good to Sister He Yao. Why can't you treat others better? As Dong Yuni spoke, she finally could not hold back her emotions and tears flowed down her face. I am sorry. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor's face was filled with silence. After a long time, he finally uttered these two difficult words. All of a sudden, Dong Yuni felt as if all her strength had been sucked out. She looked at Ancient Chaos Great Emperor bitterly and suddenly coughed out a mouthful of blood. Her action of unsealing her blood essence was indeed too rash. In addition to her emotions being too agitated, she finally suffered a backlash. Don't be so impulsive next time. I have some pills here that can help you reseal your blood essence. Seeing Dong Yuni vomiting blood, Ancient Chaos Great Emperor sighed and took out a bottle of pills from his storage pouch and handed it over. However, Dong Yuni sneered and did not accept the bottle of pills. I don't want it. I don't want anything that you give me because you can't give me what I want. Dong Yuni turned around and left. Her back view was as stubborn as before. Ancient Chaos Great Emperor was speechless. After a long silence, he put the bottle of pills back into his storage pouch and said, I am sorry, again. He turned around and was about to leave. The enemies at the stone gate of infinite desolation had already been killed. It was necessary for him to go to the other stone gates to continue his investigation. As for love, he had already thrown it away on the day He Yao died. Wait. Seeing that Ancient Chaos Great Emperor was about to leave, Dong Yuni could no longer hold back her tears. She suddenly turned around and ran back. She untied the sword case on her back and handed it to Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. I don't want your things. You can take them. She returned the Lu Yuan sword to Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. Her tone was resolute. On the surface, it seemed as if she wanted to return the sword and sever all ties with Ancient Chaos Great Emperor. However, Ancient Chaos Great Emperor was proficient in the mind-reading technique. How could he not see her true thoughts? She was worried that Ancient Chaos Great Emperor would go to the other stone gates of infinite desolation and meet more enemies. That was why she returned the Lu Yuan sword to Ancient Chaos Great Emperor, hoping that he would be in less danger with this sword. Yuni, I appreciate your kindness. However, this sword is more important to you. Your physique is lacking and you can't cultivate your father's abilities. That's why I gave you this sword in the past and taught you the sword techniques of the Lai origin sect. If you don't have this sword to protect yourself in the future, if you encounter danger like you did in the past, are you finally willing to call me by my name? If I am captured by the 3C suppressing sages like I did in the past, will you still come and save me? Dong Yuni bit his lips and asked with a face full of expectation. I will. Because you are. Because you are the daughter of an old friend. Don't say the second half of your sentence. I don't want to hear it. I have already come to this point in my life. Even if I turn back, I can't go anywhere else. I don't plan to turn back. Don't force me to turn back either. I can't change your mind and you can't change mine either. Uncle Gu, be careful on your way back. You must come back alive and come to see me again. If you don't come back, I will hate you even if I die. Alright. How could the mere pill devils of the Quail Tail Palace stop Ning Fan? Even though there were some pill devils that were slightly troublesome to deal with, the Quail Tail Palace was still conquered by him in the end. In this battle, he killed 6,000 pill devils and obtained 6,000 pills. Since these pill devils were not killed by the karma umbrella, the pills he obtained this time did not show the phenomenon of rain melting. Thus, they could be preserved for a long time. Even so, it was better to eat some pills when they were still fresh. That was why Ning Fan did not leave the Quail Tail Palace immediately. He planned to stay here and take a look at the pills he obtained. Among the 6,000 plus pills, there were only 4 pills that had reached the 10th revolution. They were, the Plague Expelling Pill, the Stomach Nourishing Pill, the 33 Flavors Emperor Pill and the Heat Clearing Pill. It was not difficult to find out the names of the pills. Ning Fan got the answer he wanted after chatting with the 4 pills for a while. The names of the 4 pills were very ordinary. However, it was this ordinariness that gave Ning Fan a feeling of returning to his true self. At this moment, he seemed to have seen a higher level of the Tao of pills. It was a kind of enlightenment that could not be described with words. The Plague Expelling Pill could cure a cultivator of a plague. Theoretically, a cultivator would not fall sick. However, what if the enemy was a cultivator who entered the Tao with an illness? This pill was a pill that was specially used to deal with plague cultivators. Even if a cultivator was infected with a plague at the incipient saint realm, it could also be cured. The Stomach Nourishing Pill was used to improve the digestive ability of a cultivator's spleen and stomach. It was said that the intestines and stomach of 99 Taotais were needed to concoct a pill like this. The 33 Flavors Emperor Pill was very useful. This pill could greatly improve a cultivator's ability in a certain aspect. One should know that the higher the cultivation level of a cultivator in the profound gate, the more likely they would be like a hidden elephant. To put it nicely, they would be like a hidden elephant. To put it bluntly, they would be like a wax spear with a silver appearance. To put it even more bluntly, they would be impotent. After Ning Fan obtained this pill, he could not help but make a wild guess. For an expert like Immortal Sovereign Ziwei, could it be that the symptoms of the hidden elephant are extremely serious? Otherwise, why would there be such a pill in this place? Anyway, Ning Fan did not need any other items to liven up his mood. He was just too strong in certain aspects. As for the last pill, which was called the Heat Clearing Pill, it seemed that every time Immortal Sovereign Ziwei overdid his cultivation of the fire element cultivation method, he would need to consume a pill to expel the fire qi in his body. That was how this pill was created. These 4 10th revolution pills are not useless. However, I want the 10 revolution 8C's pill more. In the end, Ning Fan was still a little disappointed. If he could obtain another 10 Revolution 8C's pill, he would even have the confidence to advance to the grand completion realm of the Rain Sovereign realm. Indeed, his harvest did not meet his expectations. Your Majesty, you might not know about this. Previously, the Devil Conferral Summit had robbed this place. All the useful pill devils ended up killing them to obtain their pills. At that time, only 4 10th Revolution pill devils were not killed. That's why these 4 pills are left. A skinny old man knelt on the ground in fear and explained to Ning Fan. This old man was actually also a pill devil. However, his situation was a little special. He was not the kind of vicious and murderous pill devil. He had never done any evil deeds. In the Quail-tail Palace, there were a total of 7 groups of pill devils. Each of them had their own devil village. The pill devils who were vicious and murderous were all from the Wind Village, Lightning Village and Fire Village. As for the other 4 villages, most of them were docile and they rarely became enemies with others. In the beginning, Ning Fan did not know the situation in the Quail-tail Palace. Thus, as soon as he entered the palace, he planned to slaughter everyone in this place. That was what he thought and what he did. He chased after the pill devils all the way. First, he surrounded the Fire Village alone and killed all the pill devils in the village. Then, he went to the Lightning Village and the Wind Village to continue killing and snatching their pills. However, when he destroyed the 4th Devil Village, the Water Village, an unusual situation occurred. In the Water Village, Ning Fan did not receive any attacks. Instead, a large number of malnourished pill devils who were not wearing enough clothes lined the streets to welcome him. After that, he received a warm welcome. What's going on? Ning Fan was immediately dumbfounded. After spending some time, he finally found out the reason from the village chief of the Water Village. It turned out that the pill devils who were born in the first place in the Quail-tail Palace did not like killing. They only liked peace. They built 4 devil villages and lived in peace with each other. One day, an emperor pill that had 33 flavors suddenly became a pill devil. He was ruthless and ruthless, but his methods were powerful. He kept gathering his subordinates. All the pill devils who had some strength were instigated by him to become evil. Later on, he proclaimed himself as the Pill King and went around causing trouble. The story was too long. Ning Fan stopped listening to the story until now. There were only 2 things he needed to know. Firstly, the remaining 4 devil villages did not attack Ji Fuyao. They were not on the same side as the Sea Devil General and the others. Secondly, the remaining 4 devil villages were mostly old and weak pill devils. Each of them was weak and the pills they had were also ordinary and useless. After clarifying these things, Ning Fan did not continue to attack the remaining 4 devil villages. He was not a homicidal maniac. Why would he kill them when there was no grudge between them? The Devil Conferral Summit has no use for these 4 10th Revolution pills at the moment. Besides, they still need manpower to build the devil well in this place. That's why they didn't kill us. If it wasn't because the Devil Conferral Summit had looted this place, you could have gotten at least 40 10th Revolution pills from the 3 villages. There were 40 10th Revolution pills, but the Devil Conferral Summit only had 4 left. Moreover, the pills that were left were not very useful. Ning Fan had a feeling that he was robbed. The Sea Devil General whom the king had killed in the past had passed the pill ignition tribulation and attained the 10th Revolution after obtaining a fortuitous encounter in recent years. If he had attained the 10th Revolution earlier, he might have been killed by the Devil Conferral Summit for his pill. He had a feeling that he had picked up a bargain. Before the king came, we were bullied and humiliated by the Fire, Wind and Lightning villages. After they joined the Devil Conferral Summit, they obtained a devil seed which made them even more ruthless. Thus, the bullying became worse. At the same time, they even forced the pill devils of the 4 villages to work as coolies to build the devil well. The pill devils of the 4 villages worked hard day and night. If we slacked off even a little bit, we would be punished. Some of them wanted to resist, but all of them were eaten by the old Pill King as food. When he talked about the sufferings of the past, the village chief of the Water Village kept wiping his tears. His son was eaten alive because he resisted the old Pill King. Therefore, he was very grateful to Ning Fan. Almost every pill devil of the 4 villages was extremely grateful to Ning Fan. Ning Fan was the savior of the world. He had eliminated the 3 tyrants of this place and cleaned up the evil. He was simply the savior of the pill devils of the 4 villages. That's why the pill devils of the 4 villages unanimously decided to serve the king as our master. Only a righteous devil lord like the king is worthy to be the master of our pill devils. The village chief's face was filled with pride when he said that. Pill devils were born with great arrogance. They would not submit to anyone unless it was their master. Even in the face of the massacre at the Devil Conferral Summit, the pill devils of the 4 villages did not lower their proud heads. However, when they faced Ning Fan, they chose to submit to him. It was not because of his strength, but because of Ning Fan's magnanimity. Or perhaps, the indistinct ancient devil spirit chi on Ning Fan's body was the key that made these pill devils submit to him. There's no need for that. I have no enmity with you, nor do I owe you anything. Exterminating the 3 villages was just a normal act of killing people and stealing their treasures. You don't need to feel indebted. As for the absurd words about the devil heads of the righteous sects, don't ever mention them again. Ning Fan rejected the pill devils of the 4 villages. This made the chief of the water village very disappointed. Since it was impossible for him to serve Ning Fan, he could only discuss with the other village chiefs and think of another way to repay Ning Fan. Ji Fuyao was also thinking of ways to repay Ning Fan. The soul-transforming leaf that she had plucked previously was lost when she was fleeing for her life. Luckily, Ning Fan helped her pluck the soul-transforming leaf again after he took over the Quail Tail Palace. Ji Fuyao could never forget the domineering scene of Ning Fan plucking the soul-transforming leaf. When the sky was filled with 3-teethed moths, wanting to attack Ning Fan only needed a single glance to scare away the 3-teethed moths that were known for their ferocity. Thus, harvesting the soul-dissolving leaf became extremely easy. In this case, out of the 3 types of medicinal ingredients, only the Tao Sealing Spirit Spring is still missing. Senior has promised to help me find the 3 types of medicinal ingredients. He certainly won't go back on his words. I have received Senior's kindness. Even though my strength is meager, I should still repay him. Currently, Senior is busy studying the 4 10th Revolution pills that he has just obtained. Let me help Senior look for the fragments of the divine tools that he needs. Thus, Ji Fuyao began to search for the fragments of the Polylore Palace. The pestilence-expelling pill was a medicine that could cure illnesses. Ning Fan would not eat it for no reason. The heat-reducing pill was a type of medicine that could increase one's fire resistance within a short period of time. This was the conclusion that Ning Fan came to after studying it repeatedly. For the time being, there was no need for him to consume it. As for the 33 Regent pills, there was even less of a need for him to consume them. Ning Fan no longer needed to increase his ability in that aspect. When he has the time, he could sell them. Perhaps there would be a true world saint who was looking for something similar. As for the digestion-enhancing pill, the name of this pill was very ordinary. It was probably really concocted by immortal sovereign Ziwei to strengthen the stomach and aid digestion. However, how powerful was a dignified immortal sovereign? Even if he were to swallow a mountain or an ocean, he could still refine it in an instant. What kind of occasion would it be necessary to strengthen the stomach and aid digestion? Ning Fan then took a look at the ingredients of this pill. It already required the stomachs of 99 Tao Tai. Tao Tai was a legendary demon. Some people said that Tao Tai was one of the 4 ancient ferocious beasts. Some people said that Tao Tai was a type of mixed-blood demon race that was not a true spirit. Some people said that Tao Tai's stomach acid could digest all living things. Even a true saint who had the strength to kill a Tao Tai would still be afraid of its stomach acid. If they were careless and got splashed by the stomach acid of a Tao Tai, their saint ring might even have a hole melted. A pill that required the stomachs of 99 Tao Tais was definitely not as ordinary as its name suggested. Ning Fan did not underestimate this pill at all. Even though it did not meet the expectations of the 8 C's pill, it still made him a little concerned. That was why he decided to consume it on the spot while it was still fresh. With Ning Fan's ancient fiend god body, he did not need any special protection when consuming a 10th Revolution pill. He chewed the pill in a very normal manner as if he was eating a jelly bean. Unfortunately, this pill was not a jelly bean after all. After he chewed the sugar coating on the surface, the smell of blood immediately gushed out. That smell of blood was mixed with the resentment of 99 Tao Tais. Tao Tai devoured all living things in their lives. However, they did not expect that they would be refined into a pill and eaten by someone one day. Even though it was a cycle of karma, it could not help but harbor resentment in their hearts. This resentment was too heavy. It was so heavy that even Ning Fan's Tao heart was affected. His eyes began to be covered by a blood-red light. Then, illusions appeared in front of his eyes. He saw a man wearing purple battle armor approaching him coldly. His body was surrounded by 12 stars. He casually plucked one of the stars and hurled it downwards. As a result, the Tao Tai clan below suffered a series of falling stars. The mountains collapsed and the earth cracked. All living beings were killed. It was like the end of the world. This is the price you have to pay for eating my yuan peach, the man said ruthlessly. Ning Fan felt like he had become a member of the Tao Tai clan. He could feel the fear and resentment in his body. That kind of negative emotion was like a tangible substance. It turned into 99 traces of blood-red cold chi that rampaged inside Ning Fan's body. Eventually, it froze his Tao heart world. Just as Ning Fan was about to lose control of his mind, 2 rays of golden and black fiend god light surged out from his body. His Tao heart world was no longer filled with blood-red ice and snow. Instead, it turned into a golden sky and a black earth. The traces of resentment were crushed by Ning Fan mercilessly. His mind regained its clarity. Then, he felt the final taste of the pill. Sour. It was indescribably sour. Ning Fan's teeth ached from the sourness. That was the combination of the stomach acid of 99 Tao Tais. Even though it was processed using pill refinement techniques and it would not cause any harm to the person who consumes the pill, it was still too sour. That sourness kept surging to his stomach, giving him a burning sensation. It felt like it was burning. At the same time, it also felt like Ning Fan's stomach acid was waging a war against the stomach acid of the Tao Tai. After an unknown period of time, that burning sensation subsided. Ning Fan heaved a long sigh of relief. He broke away from his cultivation state. He did not realize that 3 days had already passed. Senior, congratulations on successfully consuming the pill. When Ji Fuyao saw Ning Fan break away from his meditative state, she immediately congratulated him. During these 3 days, she had already found all the fragments of much knowledge in this place and was waiting to offer them to Ning Fan. Don't congratulate me so quickly. I just thought of a very serious matter. Ning Fan suddenly frowned. What is it? Ji Fuyao was startled. He thought to himself, could it be that something went wrong when Senior consumed the pill? Otherwise, why would his expression be so serious? Since this pill is a pill that strengthens the stomach and helps digestion, should it be consumed before or after a meal? Senior, are you joking with me? Ji Fuyao's forehead was filled with black lines. He did not know how to respond to Ning Fan's words. However, Ning Fan was not joking. Instead, he was thinking about this problem seriously. Even though the point of his thinking was very strange, I can feel that my stomach has been strengthened to a very terrifying level by this pill. This feeling that I haven't felt for a long time. Could it be? Ning Fan's expression changed slightly. Ever since he stepped onto the path of cultivation, it had been too many years since he last felt this kind of feeling. Gurgled at a slightly awkward sound came from Ning Fan's stomach. Hungry. Moreover, it was not an ordinary level of hunger. The hunger he felt right now was like a Tao Tai that had been hungry for 99 years or 99 Tao Tais that had been hungry for an entire year. It was more like a hungry Nian that ate 99 Tao Tais alive. By the way, I just met the village chief of the water village. He said that he wanted to invite Senior to try the delicacies of the Pill Devil clan. However, I saw that Senior has yet to completely assimilate the medicinal power of the pill, so I rejected him on behalf of Senior. Delicacies? Ning Fan's eyes flashed. Then, under Ji Fuyao's surprised gaze, he stood up. Where are you going, Senior? To find food. Chapter 1249. When a cultivator gains something, it would often be accompanied by loss. Abstaining from food could prevent them from hunger, but it would also deprive them of their appetite and the satisfaction after eating their fill. Slaying the scarlet dragon could prevent them from having their period, but it would weaken the fertility of female cultivators. Hiding the elephant horse could deepen one's profound cultivation, but it would lose the joy of having sex. The more intelligent and shrewd one was, the harder it would be for them to trust others. Their lifespan was long and almost eternal, but they just could not find the happiness of the mortal world. Ning Fan had long forgotten the feeling of being hungry. However, at this moment, he actually had the urge to eat. This feeling troubled him. It made him feel lost and nostalgic. A person with a pure heart and a person whose eyes were blinded by desires would see the world differently. For example, a man who had been holding back for countless years would also forget everything when he saw a picture of a beautiful palace. However, if he releases all his desires, he would enter the wise sage realm where his heart was as hard as stone. When he looks at the picture again, he would only feel that it was boring. Cultivators who had no appetite would look at the living beings, mountains, rivers, grass and trees as if they were looking at a painting. They could appreciate the beautiful scenery and comprehend the great Tao of the heavens, but it was difficult for them to truly immerse themselves in it. They could only pass by. Ning Fan was different. At this moment, he had an appetite. Thus, the way he looked at the plants, mountains, rivers and living beings changed. He passed by a mountain which was located to the south of the Quail Tail Palace. He saw a white deer leaping between the mountains. His first reaction was not because the white deer was so lively and beautiful. Instead, he suddenly recalled the past when he hunted deer when he was young. He recalled the time when he went into the mountains to hunt deer with the body of a mortal when he was young. He remembered one time when he chased a deer all the way into the depths of the mountains. In the end, he managed to hunt the deer, but unfortunately, he got lost in the mountains. The sky was already dark and the mountain rain suddenly came. He carried the deer with his skinny body and looked around for a place to hide from the rain. Finally, he found a cave. Then, he lit a bonfire and roasted the deer. Fortunately, he brought some salt with him and some honey he found in the mountains. He smeared the honey on the roasted meat. Roasted deer meat might be good, Ning Fan thought to himself. He did not expect that when he was planning to hunt the white deer, they actually had the same idea. Noticing Ning Fan's arrival, the white deer that were jumping in joy suddenly quieted down. Then, all of them rushed towards Ning Fan with ferocious eyes. Some people thought that deer were vegetarian, but that was just a misconception. Deer also ate meat. When Ning Fan was young, he went hunting in the mountains and saw wild deer eating fish, birds and dead rabbits. The herd of deer in front of them was clearly more aggressive. They even dared to treat those who entered the mountain as prey and took the initiative to attack. Therefore, hundreds of ferocious white deer surrounded Ning Fan in a blink of an eye. The leader of the herd was an old deer king. The deer king looked at Ning Fan coldly as if he was looking at his food. It proudly lowered its head and rammed its huge antlers at Ning Fan. The power of this one strike was shockingly equivalent to the impact of several stars. Such a shocking impact was enough to make some doomsday immortal venerables panic, but it wasn't enough to make them raise their eyebrows. With just a casual press of his hand, the deer king who was dashing towards him was pinned on the spot, unable to move at all. Deer King's head was pressed down by Ning Fan. It wanted to break free, but to its horror, it realized that Ning Fan's strength was far stronger than its own. "Since you're hunting me, I think you've already made up your mind." Ning Fan's face showed a ruthless expression. In just a short while, all of the white deer were slaughtered by Ning Fan and turned into roasted deer. The divine lattice of wood built a huge grill. After hundreds of deer were cut up, they were placed on the grill. While the devil flame was roasting the deer below, Ning Fan was busy spreading the sauce at the side. In just a short while, the deer meat was roasted until it was golden yellow and its fragrance filled the air. Ning Fan took a skewer of roasted deer meat and tasted it. In the end, he shook his head regretfully. "It's not as tasty as the deer meat when I was young. It's because the deer meat is different or because my heart is different." Even so, the deer meat on the grill was still decreasing rapidly. Ning Fan was very hungry and he would not waste the food in front of him. Inside his body, the 99 traces of Tao Tai's power were circulating in his stomach. As the deer meat was digested and absorbed, one trace of the Tao Tai's power was reduced unknowingly, leaving only 98 traces. At the same time when the Tao Tai's power was reduced, an even more intense hunger pounded on Ning Fan's stomach. Strange. I've clearly eaten so much deer meat but I'm getting hungrier and hungrier instead. Ning Fan was puzzled but he did not delve into these details. The aroma of the roasted meat drifted very far away. In the depths of the mountain, a gigantic black tiger which had been sleeping for many years opened its eyes at this moment. Saliva flowed out from its mouth. It followed the aroma all the way to this place. The moment it saw the deer meat on the grill, it rushed towards it without caring about anything. Bang! A palm wind blew past. The black tiger was sent flying away by someone's palm. It let out a miserable shriek and flew backwards. This is mine. You can't snatch it from me. Ning Fan said indifferently. Roar. The black tiger seemed to be enraged by Ning Fan's action. The black tiger let out a furious roar. Immediately, billowing black wind blew across the mountain forest. The black wind gathered in the black tiger's mouth and condensed into a glaring black wind ball. Bang! The wind ball was launched directly at Ning Fan. It was almost as powerful as a strike from an immortal king. Ning Fan did not even look at the wind ball. With a casual flick of his sleeve, the wind ball disappeared without a trace. The black tiger shuddered. It finally realized that Ning Fan was not someone to be trifled with. At this moment, it no longer dared to snatch Ning Fan's food. It turned around and tried to escape. Ning Fan casually struck out a ray of sword light. With a miserable shriek, the black tiger was nailed to the ground by the ocean-defying sword. Thus, there was another piece of tiger meat on Ning Fan's grill. The strength of this black tiger was already close to the immortal king realm. The essence chi contained in its flesh was far beyond that of the deer meat. Once it was grilled, the essence chi almost shot up to the sky. Far away, the 3 devil well birds smelled the tiger meat. At this moment, all of them drooled. It smells so good. Brothers, there seems to be something delicious in that direction. Should we go and have a look? The youngest devil well bird said excitedly. Before Greed died, he sent us here to supervise the construction of the devil well that connects the 2 worlds. We can't leave our posts without permission. Don't cause trouble. The second oldest devil well bird reprimanded. That pill elder Mo has already been killed. The laborers who built the devil well in the 4 villages have also fled back to their own villages. Even if we stay here, we won't be able to complete the devil well. What's wrong with going out to look for some food once in a while? The youngest devil well bird disagreed. In the end, it flapped its wings alone and flew out of the dark devil well. Humph. Little brother is always so disobedient. He will get into trouble sooner or later. Big brother, why don't you scold him? He never listens to me. However, if it's you, you should at least listen to me. The second brother said with dissatisfaction. Hoo hoo hoo. The oldest devil well bird was busy snoring, as if it was not concerned about what was happening in the outside world. After Ning Fan finished the deer meat, he began to eat the tiger meat. He did not know what kind of species this black tiger was. When it was grilled, it tasted extremely fragrant. However, when it entered his mouth, it tasted a little sour. It was not very tasty. Luckily, Ning Fan was extremely hungry at the moment. He did not care whether it was tasty or not. In just a blink of an eye, he had eaten half of the roasted tiger. Strangely enough, after eating the white deer, the Tao Tai power in his body had decreased to 98 traces. Now that he had eaten the black tiger, the Tao Tai power in his body had decreased to 96 traces. Ning Fan did not know what was the special meaning of the reduction of the Tao Tai power in his body. He only knew that the lesser the Tao Tai power in his body, the hungrier he would be. It was really strange. This tiger meat is not enough. I need more food. Just as Ning Fan was thinking about where he should go to find more food, the sky above his head was suddenly shrouded by a shadow and fell into darkness. It turned out that a gigantic and nutritious devil well bird had flown to this place. It spread its wings and completely blocked the sky above the mountain forest. Its immense killing intent locked onto Ning Fan at the first moment. Those who hunt in this place without the permission of us, the devil well envoys, will be punished with death. The devil well bird's tone was arrogant. It flapped its wings and its sharp feathers flew out like blades, cutting down all the plants on the mountain slope in an instant. Those feathers also flew towards Ning Fan. However, when they were 100 zhang away from him, they were blocked by invisible walls. Those invisible walls were not some kind of divine ability. They were just Ning Fan's Dao sense. With just a single Dao sense, he could actually prevent ordinary attacks from getting close to him. Hiss! This man actually blocked my feather blade technique with just his Dao sense. The devil well bird was shocked. However, that shock only lasted for a moment. At the next moment, its eyes turned ferocious again and it said coldly, "How dare you? You're just a low-grade pill devil. How dare you resist my punishment?" I see. This devil well bird actually thought that Ning Fan was the pill devil of this place. That was why it spoke in such a superior tone. The meat of this huge bird is really quite a lot. I wonder if it can fill my stomach. Ning Fan did not care about the devil well bird's clamor. He completely treated the bird as food that was delivered to his doorstep. His eyes were filled with memories. He inadvertently recalled the past where he climbed trees and touched birds when he was young. The devil well bird was infuriated by Ning Fan's attitude. Its killing intent instantly intensified. The devil well bird muttered some incantations. Suddenly, 14 feathers on its wings changed color from black to scarlet gold and then from scarlet gold to fiery red. My cultivation in my entire life is the 14 Hotian fire feathers. When the 14 fire feathers are unleashed at the same time, it is comparable to innate fire. It can burn the heavens and the earth. Burning your Dao sense is as easy as flipping my hand. Chi! Chi! The 14 fire feathers turned into fiery light and flew out. Heaven and earth were instantly dyed fiery red. The devil well bird's face was filled with confidence. The destructive power of this attack was comparable to the innate devil fire. How many people below the immortal emperor realm could withstand it? The low-grade pill devil in front of it would probably be burned to ashes in an instant. The fiery light flew closer and closer. When it was about to burn Ning Fan, he suddenly raised his hand and directly caught the fiery light in his palm. It completely ignored the scorching temperature of the innate devil fire. You burn me with fire. Then, I will burn you with fire as well. This is karma. Ning Fan opened his mouth and swallowed the 14 fire feathers of the devil well bird into his stomach. Then, he spat out a fiery red lump of soil. That lump of soil seemed ordinary. However, as soon as it rose into the sky, it instantly turned boundlessly huge. How is this a lump of soil? It is obviously an entire continent. Besides, it is not an ordinary continent but a land of utmost fire in the 10 worlds. Ning Fan's devil fire burned fiercely in this land of utmost fire. Under the enhancement of the land of utmost fire, its destructive power skyrocketed by a few times. The devil well bird was terrified. It could feel an unparalleled heat from this land of utmost fire. If it is attacked by this thing, it would definitely be burned to ashes in an instant. Among the pill devils of the 4 villages, there is no one as powerful as you. You are not the pill devils of the 4 villages. You are the external cultivator who killed Pill Elder Mo. The devil well bird realized something. It flapped its wings and fled immediately. How would it dare to stay in this place for a long time? However, it could not escape at all. No matter how far it ran, the entire land of utmost fire would always be hanging above its head. That land of utmost fire finally fell. In despair, the devil well-bird desperately tried to block it. However, in just an instant, all of its feathers were burned off by the land of utmost fire. Then, its flesh was roasted bit by bit. It was not because it was too weak but because Ning Fan was too generous. He actually used the land of utmost fire in the 10 worlds as a barbecue. How many people in this world could avoid being roasted to death? Ning Fan carefully controlled the temperature of the fire, afraid that the temperature would be too high and turn the devil well-bird into charcoal. While he was roasting the bird, he was still puzzled. This bird just said that I killed some Pil Elder Mo. Who is that? I'm afraid this bird has mistaken me for someone else. Pil Elder Mo was actually the name of the old Pil King of the Quail Tail Palace. His true form was the 10th Revolution stomach-nourishing digestion pill that Ning Fan consumed. He was indeed killed by Ning Fan. The devil well-bird did not accuse Ning Fan wrongly. Unfortunately, Ning Fan did not even bother to ask for the name of such a minor character who could not even live for more than half an episode. How would he know about this matter? Of course, even if he does not know, he would not care. Damn it! Third brother's life plate is broken. Almost at the same time when the younger devil well-bird died, the second devil well-bird let out a furious roar. The eldest devil well-bird who was sleeping soundly also woke up from his slumber. His eyes shone with a sharp cold light. How dare you kill my younger brother? I will kill your entire clan. The 2 devil well-birds gnashed their teeth and said. Then, the 2 devil well-birds who had lost their rationality due to anger rushed out of the well and charged at Ning Fan. After that, a large pile of fresh roasted bird meat was added to Ning Fan's grill. Ning Fan was happily eating the devil well-birds. After an unknown period of time, a fragrant wind suddenly blew past him. A lady wearing a green silk dress descended from the sky. Fellow Taoist, are you satisfied with just these pieces of trash? My name is Nu Luo. Are you willing to follow me to eat some better food? The lady said with a charming smile. Her voice was extremely pleasant to the ears. Ning Fan's eyes narrowed slightly. He raised his head and looked at the lady's beautiful face. Eventually, his eyes fell on the lady's throat. There seemed to be an Adam's apple that was not very obvious there. This is a man who is dressed like a lady. Senior said that you are going to look for food. Why haven't you come back after such a long time? Could it be that Senior is going to stay in the water village tonight? Ji Fuyao waited and waited. Even when the sky turned dark, Ning Fan still did not come back to look for her. When Ning Fan said that he was going to look for food, she subconsciously thought that he had gone to participate in the banquet of the Pill Devils of the 4 villages. Since Ning Fan did not return after such a long time, she also subconsciously thought that he was going to stay in the homes of the Pill Devils tonight. When she thought about how Ning Fan was hugging a young lady of the Pill Devil clan in each of his arms, Ji Fuyao could not help but feel a little uncomfortable. She was not jealous. It was just that she had been hunted down by the Pill Devil clan for too many times. Deep down in her bones, she hated Pill Devils. She was filled with admiration and gratitude towards Ning Fan. She regarded him as her benefactor. He was her benefactor. Even if he wants to have fun, he should not look for despicable and shameless Pill Devils. Ning Fan deserves better. Senior, you can't belittle yourself like this. This won't do. I have to go and persuade Senior. He can't just take in any Tom, Dick or Harry. Ji Fuyao went all the way to the water village with a strange feeling in her heart. When she arrived, she was surprised to find that there was no banquet in the water village at all. After asking a random Pill Devil, she found out that Ning Fan did not come to this place at all. Since Senior didn't come to this place, where did he go to eat? While Ji Fuyao was puzzled, a few Pill Devils who were patrolling outside suddenly returned to the water village with faces full of joy. Great news! Great news! The 3 devil well-birds that have enslaved us for many years have been eliminated. The person who eliminated the evil is none other than our benefactor, Ning Fan. What? Benefactor didn't accept our invitation to the banquet but he still helped us eliminate the devil well-birds. How chivalrous. How did our benefactor kill the 3 evil birds? Hurry up and tell us about it. Unbelievable. Benefactor actually used a piece of land of extreme fire to roast and eat the 3 evil birds? Where is our benefactor now? So he's at the southern Quail Mountain. What? Not only the 3 evil birds, but he also killed the black tiger spirit that had been doing evil for many years? What? That herd of man-eating deer was also eliminated by our benefactor? I've lived for a lifetime, but I've never seen someone as chivalrous and righteous as our benefactor. Our benefactor has helped us time and time again. Even if he isn't willing to attend the banquet, we should still show our gratitude. Got it. Let's move the banquet to the southern Quail Mountain. If our benefactor doesn't come, we will personally visit him. No matter what, we must thank our benefactor. The Pill Devils carried the food and wine and headed straight to the southern Quail Mountain in a grand procession. Since Ji Fuyao had nowhere to look for Ning Fan, she also followed the group of Pill Devils and headed to the southern Quail Mountain. Unfortunately, when she arrived at the mountain, Ning Fan was no longer there. The bonfire had already been extinguished. What was left on the ground was a giant grill that was charred black and bones that were eaten clean. There were deer bones, tiger bones, and the bones of giant birds. All of them were the trash that Ning Fan left behind. Apart from that, there was also a Dao boy who carried a giant medicinal gourd on his back waiting for them. Hiss. Could this person be the medicine boy under Lady Nu Luo? Some of the Pill Devils recognized the identity of the Dao boy and bowed to him respectfully. The Dao boy's attitude was very cold. When he saw the Pill Devils bowing to him, he just said indifferently, "You may rise." Then, he ignored them and walked towards Ji Fuyao. "Greetings, Lord Medicine Boy." Ji Fuyao bowed to the Dao boy. She was no stranger to the Ziwei North Palace. Of course, she knew how powerful the medicine boy in front of her was. Even though he had the body of a Dao boy, his cultivation base was comparable to an ancient great emperor. Thus, she could not afford to be disrespectful to him. When facing the Pill Devils, the medicine boy's face was full of indifference. However, when facing Ji Fuyao, he actually squeezed out a smile. "Senior Ning has ordered me to escort you to the Xianpin Palace." "To the Xianpin Palace? Senior Ning asked you to pick me up here?" Ji Fuyao seemed to be in disbelief. Every time she entered the Ziwei North Palace, she would be hunted by the demons and devils in this place. Thus, she was extremely vigilant. Thus, she did not believe the medicine boy's words easily. Seeing that Ji Fuyao did not believe him, the medicine boy did not get angry. He patted his storage pouch and took out a bronze mirror. Then, he cast a hand seal into the mirror. Then, Ning Fan's figure was reflected in the mirror. At this moment, Ning Fan was following behind a beautiful lady. They had already left the Quail Tail Palace and entered the 8th palace, the Quail Fire Palace. The two of them were chatting happily. However, when he sensed that he was being inspected, he stopped talking and said to Ji Fuyao through the bronze mirror, "I've been invited by fellow Daoist Nu Luo to do something. You can follow the medicine boy to the Xianpin Palace. You don't have to worry." What terrifying senses! He can actually sense the ancient mirror of Mount Wu and even use it to converse. The medicine boy's face was filled with astonishment. Then, he sighed in admiration towards Ning Fan's senses. Ji Fuyao also knew about the ancient mirror of Mount Wu. He knew that it was actually the treasure of the master of the Xianpin Palace, old ancestor Nu Luo. The person who spoke in the ancient mirror was undoubtedly Ning Fan. His qi could not be faked. Therefore, the medicine boy in front of him was really sent by Ning Fan to pick her up. "If that's the case, are you willing to follow me to the Xianpin Palace?" The medicine boy asked with a smile. Ji Fuyao naturally wanted to go to the Xianpin Palace to find Ning Fan. However, she still had some doubts. Why did Ning Fan accept the invitation of old ancestor Nu Luo for no reason? Rumor has it that old ancestor Nu Luo was extremely fond of men. Many of the powerful male demons and devils in the North Pole Palace had fallen into her hands. Could it be that old ancestor Nu Luo has taken a fancy to Senior Ning's beauty? That's why she invited Senior Ning to the Xian Pin Palace for a night of pleasure. How can this be? How can Senior be so casual? He and old ancestor Nu Luo have just met once. This is too fast. When he thought of this, Ji Fuyao felt unwell. It was as if the Prince Charming in his heart was about to be tainted by someone else. In the 8th palace of the North Pole Palace, the Quail Fire Palace. Ning Fan followed behind old ancestor Nu Luo and flew across the sky above the Quail Fire Palace. Countless fire devils of the palace were alarmed, but none of them dared to stop them. The Quail Fire Palace is the territory of the fire devils. Since ancient times, this place has been the place where venerated Ziwei nurtured the flames. It was only until venerated Ziwei passed away that the powerful flames that were nurtured in this place were taken away by immortal sovereign Zido. Since then, there are only a few low-grade flames left in this place. As time passed, the low-grade flames turned into fire devils. These fire devils seem strong, but they are actually not worth mentioning. Old ancestor Nu Luo explained to Ning Fan while leading the way. Her tone was very disdainful. She did not put the fire devils of the Quail Fire Palace in her eyes at all. Of course, she also had the right to be so disdainful. She was a second-level quasi-sage. With such a cultivation base, so what if she looked down on a group of fire devils? Fellow Daoist said that you are going to bring me to look for delicious food. I wonder what kind of delicacies this Quail Fire Palace has. Ning Fan asked. He who could communicate with all living beings could sense that this old ancestor Nu Luo in front of him did not have any ill intentions. He was very curious why this old ancestor Nu Luo would look for him out of nowhere. Could it be that she really just wants to help him look for food? Or perhaps, she has another purpose. Hee. The Quail Fire Palace does have some delicious food. I just wonder if fellow Daoist dares to eat them. Old ancestor Nu Luo giggled. Even though I'm not picky, I don't eat everything. Ning Fan was non-committal. Fellow Daoist, don't worry. When you see this item, you will definitely like it. I just wonder how much you can eat and how much you dare to eat. Old ancestor Nu Luo brought Ning Fan all the way to the easternmost area of the Quail Fire Palace. What entered his sight was a desolate desert. Old ancestor Nu Luo landed on the desert with Ning Fan. She lifted her foot and stomped on the ground. Fire devil brat, quickly come out and see me. Her tone was forceful and undeniable. The force of her stomp split the entire desert into two halves. From the crack, a white-haired fire devil with a face full of anger flew out. Who are you, thief? How dare you? When the old fire devil saw that it was an external cultivator like Ning Fan, his eyes subconsciously revealed killing intent. However, when he saw that Nu Luo was following Ning Fan, his face turned pale with fright. Junior Long Yenchen greets Senior Nu Luo. May I know if Senior is here to stay for the night? When he mentioned the word stay, the fire devil whose name was Long Yenchen felt like crying. This man was an immortal emperor after all. Moreover, he seemed to be someone who was not afraid of death. Ning Fan was really curious about what had happened between this person and Nu Luo. Nu Luo was terrified to the core of his being. Hee. You are already old and weak. No matter how hungry I am, I won't go so far as to look for you. Nu Luo looked at Long Yenchen disdainfully. Her eyes were filled with endless pity and regret. In the past, Long Yenchen was the most handsome man among the fire devils. However, after being plucked by her a few times, he turned into this withered old man. How useless! After being scolded by Nu Luo for being old and weak, Long Yenchen did not feel the slightest bit humiliated. Instead, his face was filled with joy. It was as if it was a great thing for him not to be liked by Nu Luo. As his mood turned better, Long Yenchen's face also had a smile. He began to size Ning Fan up and down. It was not until now that he realized that Ning Fan's appearance was actually quite extraordinary. I get it now. I get it now. It turns out that Senior is not here to stay but to seek shelter. Don't worry. I will certainly drive everyone away from this place and not let anyone disturb Senior's pleasure. After saying that, Long Yanqing patted Ning Fan's shoulder sympathetically and comforted him. Take good care of Senior Nu Luo. If you really can't take it anymore, just use this. The kind-hearted Long Yanqing gave Ning Fan a bottle of medicine. Ning Fan scanned it with his spirit sense and his face immediately darkened. What was inside the bottle was not some kind of pellet but a whole bottle of medicinal liquid. Its purpose was to nourish the valley path. Don't talk nonsense. I invited fellow Taoist Ning here for some serious business. Quickly open the seal. I want to go to the fire quail pond. Nu Luo said with displeasure.